Sorry for the live stream
Oh,
tonight. I had stuff going on. My apologies. It's my fault. But we have some things that we need to get off our chest. So let's go ahead and we will go ahead and get into it.
yep.
Vikings, let's win this game. Skull Vikings on a name. Go get that first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em, fight, 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 fight. Go Vikings, run out the score. You'll hear us yell for more. VIKINGS, Skull Vikings, let's go.
Yeah,
So,
Falcons fans have been coming after me hard today
and why is that,
because
Sarah?
I was being nice, so I thanked them and was grateful to them for signing Kirk away so that we could finally build a team, and they got offended that I'm ungrateful to Kirk. Like, I'm supposed to be grateful for one playoff win?
Yeah, there's some Viking fans that say the same thing. That's the funny part.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I heard a Kirk fan say we should use that money that we paid JJ to pay Kirk.
Okay, do them fools realize Kirk's getting paid by two teams this year? He's still getting paid by the Vikings and the Falcons.
All I'm saying is if we're paying top money, it better be going to the top guy of his position.
Well, okay, since we're talking about quarterback money, what the hell is Jacksonville thinking with
Thank
Trevor?
God it's not our problem. Is all I can say.
It's almost like these NFL teams now, they're overpaying for a lot of mediocre quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, like this Falcons fan was saying to me like oh yeah, because I said something like I said something about Kirk, and he said, "Oh yeah." I was like, "It's so cute that you guys think Kirk is the missing piece you guys need," and he was like, "We don't think that. That's why we drafted Penix." And I'm like, "If you didn't think that, why did you waste $100 million guaranteed on him? We don't think that Darnold is the missing piece. That's why we paid $10 million for him."
Yeah, Darnold's just a placement now until JJ picks up the offense.
You know, like who pays $100 million to a team? I mean, to a quarterback that they don't think he's the missing piece. The Falcons, apparently.
Hey, here's another thing. I'm so glad my girl Trisha is not like most Falcon fans. She'll even put Falcon fans in their place. But when you lose a Super Bowl 28-3 and you got a comfortable lead, don't brag. You ain't got shit to talk about. You had a 22-3 lead in the Super Bowl and blew it.
Yeah, like I was saying, hey, we were in 4 Super Bowls, but at least we never even had a lead.
Exactly. We got our asses kicked early. We were out of that game by halftime. All but one of them.
30 minutes away from winning the Super Bowl.
And they blew it. They blew it. You know, I mean,
there's choking and then there's choking. Ours is just choking. Theirs is like choking.
Well, yeah, and it's, and I remember talking to, and I was with Trisha then, and I knew when that game was over not to call her. I knew because the way that Super Bowl went down, that's just, I'd have rather got my ass kicked.
How do you recover from that, though? I don't think you can.
Well, that is kind of why they signed Kirk Cousins, because Arthur Blank thinks that Kirk Cousins is a missing piece to get them to the Super Bowl.
That's so cute.
I just, it's going to be Well, I told
Just let
Trisha
them
I'm here
figure
for
it
her.
out for
But,
themselves when game is on the line.
well, here's the deal with Kirk. They probably win the South.
I don't know. That's what we said too. Coming off of a NFC Championship game, we didn't even make the playoffs that year when Kirk came
No,
in.
no. And the funny part was
And
the game we had to win to get into the playoffs. Kirk doesn't show up.
yeah, and we had the top defense too.
There should have been okay. We had clues. I'm not even going to call him I'm just going to call him number 8. We had clues when number 8 was not the answer. He had that deer in the headlight look against Buffalo, and then it was really bad against the Seahawks.
Well,
And then,
I mean, if their defensive player is saying, "Look at him, he's scared," okay,
yeah,
that's not a good sign.
yeah, that tells you right there. They've already called. They already know he's gun shy. They already know it.
Do you have that parent advisory up?
Hold on.
I'm just so glad we're not in any of those positions to pay quarterbacks like Dak, Trevor, Tua.
Oh, Dak is
It's,
going to get paid. Dak now is going to get paid. I don't know who's going to pay him, but he's going to get paid.
Well, they better make a decision if they're going to keep Dak or CD.
Well, the Cowboys got money. Did they
And
pay?
gotta
Did they pay?
Micah.
Did they pay Micah Parsons?
No, but they're
No.
going to have to too.
Okay.
Because
yes, they didn't.
he was drafted in 21 and Lamb was drafted in 20. So they're right after one another.
So yeah, JJ got his money just in time, and he deserves it. Now CD's gonna want money between him and whoever's.
I heard CD wants more.
Yeah, and
He wants more than Justin.
JJ has a rookie quarterback, so we can take that hit.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, wow. You know what? CD's been pretty healthy. I don't know, JJ's, Justin's missed a few games, but
Yeah, but I don't know. I see it as like it's the first season where he's had injury, so I'm not gonna be too concerned about it.
no, I'm not either. But you didn't pay him, somebody would have paid him, so
Right.
so you had to do that. But
Well,
yeah,
and the way things are going, I mean, like it looks like all these teams with young rookie quarterbacks want a number 1 wide receiver to help their quarterback develop. And so it's like if we don't pay him, why are we going to send him to another team to develop their quarterback?
oh, you mean JJ, Justin?
Yeah.
True.
So we might as well. I don't have a problem if we don't sign him at his next extension.
Speaking of Jets, did you guys see the trailer for the Netflix series Receiver?
Yeah.
I caught a glimpse of it. Yeah. Yeah.
But by the way, the Vikings did the extension with Justin Jefferson. It allows for Justin for Jets to have his contract expire when the Vikings have to pay JJ.
He can
I'm
also
fine with that.
he can also be traded too, I believe.
Yeah, he doesn't have a no trade clause.
But the Vikings did it good because guess what? His cap hit isn't big. And there's a star receiver for catch.
Yeah.
And he's not going to kill us in the long run with the because it's going up every year.
My wife painted her fingernails.
Oh, Jesus.
Is she is it a dash hound? Are they?
No, Dalmatian.
Dalmatian.
She's a
Oh yeah,
Dalmatian.
Dalmatian. That's what I meant.
My other dog is a Basset Hound. So I got a Basset Hound and a Dalmatian.
Do they get along?
Not really. They're still fighting for dominance. She kind of JJ the Basset Hound was kind of the jerk. She's at the point now. They used to fight when we first got her,
Mhm.
but she's at the point where she just ignores them.
How old is the Basset Hound?
He's turning. When did the Vikings play the Jaguars in Minnesota last?
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
That's when that was when we picked up JJ the Basset Hound.
Oh, you got him in
He was born on October 6th of that same year that we went to go pick him up. So was it 3 years ago, 2 years ago when they played Jacksonville in Minnesota?
Yeah, that was.
I missed that whole game to go pick him up. So
That was a pandemic year.
so
Oh, 3 years ago.
Yep.
was it 3?
Yep.
So he turns 3. She turns 2 on July 4th.
She got a ton of energy.
Oh, man, as soon as I get home from work, I open the back door, let her in the backyard, and it's like the Zoomies, but hyper speed zoom. She runs back and forth like 12 times to expel all that energy. So, hey, what up?
Oh, I heard the Mavs won.
Yeah, it was a blowout.
Yeah. That's all right. They'll lose the next one.
Yeah, since the Wolves got eliminated, I could care less who wins.
I wasn't a big NBA fan anyway, so the Wolves kept my interest because it was a Minnesota team in it.
Right.
I'm more excited about the Minnesota Wild going back to the North Star colors than I am about.
Are they for sure going back to the North Star colors?
That's what I heard.
Somebody said they're not.
I kind of thought it was kind of official.
I thought it was. I was like, I'm like all gung ho for it.
Yeah.
How
That's
do you
when
guys like the Twins new uniform?
I hate those uniforms.
I think it's
Those blue ones, the ones that the blue ones that they were wearing.
The ones where they look like they work at Best Buy? Yes.
Oh, I hate those uniforms.
They said it's the lakes of Minnesota and the yellow represents the sunset.
Who said that? Nike?
No, that's what the Twins said.
I don't like that yellow. I like the blue, but I don't like the yellow.
So according to the Hockey News, the Hockey News says that the Wild are going to go back to the North Star colors.
They're supposed to be changing they're supposed to be going to like a rebrand. So with the whole Wild picture and all that, I guess I did not know this. That's supposedly the head of a bear.
Yeah, it's a bear. Supposedly, from what I understand,
Like
that
a wild bear?
the throwback
Is that
uniforms.
the logo?
The throwback
It's a
uniforms.
bear,
that they
yeah.
wore, yeah, those throwback uniforms, the vintage ones that they wore, or whatever I think they're called. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Those are those are the new uniforms, pretty much. With the bear.
You know what?
head, all that.
You could do the North Star colors, but instead of having the N, put an M there. And figure out something. You can modernize it.
Well, Dallas Stars should not have the North Star stuff.
Well, and that was used to be back in the day. If a team moved, they took all the history with it. When Cleveland sued Art Modell to keep the Browns history there, that changed everything.
The Thunder shouldn't have the Sonic shit.
No. And then, but even with the Stars, they should not have. I mean, Dallas Stars fits, but they shouldn't have the North Star records or anything like that.
Right.
So, but those Dallas did the North Stars did change their colors before they left.
Yeah, they went to black.
They went to black, and that was kind of that early '90s thing where everybody was coming out with a black uni. But yeah, and then Norm Green sold the team. He sold the team once he got to Texas, once he got to Dallas.
Norm Green, wasn't he our mayor?
No, he owned the North Stars, and then he moved them.
Oh, it's a different Norm Green then.
You're thinking of Norm Coleman.
Oh yeah, Norm Coleman. Yeah,
Yep.
okay, my bad.
Yep. Yeah, Norm Green, he wanted a new arena and nobody would give him a new arena. So basically he said he was going to move the team to Dallas. The Twin Cities dared him to do it, and he did it. But he also had a couple of sexual harassment suits coming out on him. That had a lot to do with why he moved the team. That had more to do with it than anything. So, but yeah, but here's a funny thing. The Stars move, and I think like 4 or 5 years later, they win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah. I was happy for Madonna, but other than that,
Yeah. Yeah, Brett Hull was on that team too.
Yep.
So
they beat the Sabres, I think.
yeah, that was the Sabres.
Dominic Hasek.
Yeah. But yeah, that was, and I'm just kind of like typical lucky Minnesota. That's just Minnesota's, team leaves and wins a championship.
Yeah.
That's just Minnesota luck.
So yeah, we got the Vikings think so. Going back to the Minnesota luck, the Vikings, of course, don't get anything from the tampering. The Falcons get a slap on the wrist. Eagles got nothing. So what's the point of having tampering?
Well, and the thing was, like, it's not like they tampered with just Kirk. They tampered with 3 players, and
Yeah,
it's like a 5th-round pick. Well, then should we just start recruiting whoever's on the free agent list now?
You know what? If they're going to do this, it's open season. It's open season.
But then again, we don't have a Rich McKay to bail us out.
They would hit us hard if we did it.
Yeah. But then I did say, well, to be fair, Atlanta did technically forfeit their 1st-round draft pick anyways by using it on Penix. You
know what? I'm telling you right now, Penix, he's going to be starting sometime this year. If Kirk, because there's no guarantee Kirk's going to light it up, as they say. I don't know. Kirk is Kirk. But here's the thing now. Kirk has got somebody looking over his shoulder, so he's going to be a little paranoid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I don't know, because they paid him a lot of money. I don't think they're just gonna bench him.
Well, here's the thing though. You've got a general manager and a coach, a new head coach, and practically a new general manager who didn't want Cousins. This was the owner's call. So now if Kirk doesn't work out, these two are out of a job. And they drafted Penix because they'd rather be tied to Penix, because that's their quarterback instead of Kirk. It's no secret around the NFL how a lot of people feel about Kirk. It's just not.
Yeah.
Many of these Viking fans put him on a pedestal, and he does not deserve to be on a pedestal unless you are a fantasy football fanatic, and he probably won you a title there. But when it comes to real football, if you make the playoffs with Kirk, you had a decent year.
Well, some of the Kirk fans were upset that we chose to pay JJ instead of Kirk. And I'm just like, any functional team would pay the younger guy and let the older guy go.
Any normal team would have did that. Any normal team. That's the whole thing. I don't know what some of these Viking fans were thinking.
They aren't. Like I said, they
do.
aren't Vikings fans. They're Kirk.
I don't think they do think.
And here's the thing: Kirk's coming off a major injury. We don't know what the hell he's going to do. You know. And I got selling. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not big on paying receivers a whole lot of money. I just not. But you know what? If it works, it doesn't. It's not going to hurt us in the long run because it's not much against the cap. The cap goes up every year, and we still got money next year to get some big name free agents if they need to.
Yeah, my thing is, it's like I don't mind it because we have a rookie contract for the quarterback. Now, if I would have a big problem with it paying Kirk and paying JJ all that money, but because we're not paying both of them, then I don't have a problem with it. And I would rather pay the top guy in his position that money than to pay Curtis is gonna get mad when I say this, but I'd rather pay the top guy in his position that top money than pay a mediocre quarterback that much money. Sorry,
Why
Curtis.
would I get mad with you?
Because you see Kirk as a top 10, 12 quarterback, and I call him
Because
mediocre.
if you look at well, that's more of the state of the quarterbacks in the NFL than it is more about Kirk. I think he is a top, top. I wouldn't top 12, top 10, anywhere. You can put Kirk anywhere between 10 and 15 right now, and I wouldn't have an argument anywhere. Anything above 10, no. But I would much rather have Justin Jefferson than Kirk Cousins on this team. Because especially with the young quarterback that they have now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Did you guys see that video from the Jets that they released about that 10th overall pick?
Oh, you mean when they were in the room and they laughed about the Vikings? They thought they put a move on the Vikings?
No. We were in competition to for that 10th pick with the Rams because the Rams wanted to move up to 10.
Yeah.
But they didn't want they wanted to move up to 10, and so it was between us. There could be more, but this is just what they released. So it was us or the Rams, and they weren't gonna they were gonna give up their second round pick and swap first round picks, and whatnot, but the Jets were like, oh, that's like a bit too far or whatever, and so then they traded with us, and then there was somebody Sean McVay really wanted, because then they were like, well, if the Jets don't trade, maybe they can trade with us, the Vikings. And so then McVay called KOC to see what we were going to do at 11, because McVay was like, no, if McCarthy's there, they're going to take McCarthy. But McVay called KOC just to check to make sure that we wouldn't move back. And so on the draft video, when the Vikings showed the video and you see KOC on the phone while Quasey's talking to him, it was McVay that was on the phone with KOC.
Oh, because I saw the video where they swapped picks with the Jets, and the Jets thought they got one over on the Vikings.
Yeah, they were laughing.
They were laughing. I'm just like,
About what? You got a 4th and a 5th round pick.
They think they got one over on the Vikings.
Over a 4th and 5th round pick, I guess.
Yeah, all they did was
dumpster fire. Also,
all they did was move back one and gain a couple of picks, and it doesn't matter because guess what? That team is probably going to be half those people will be gone at the end of the season.
And
like you said, Catch, that team is a dumpster fire.
That pick that we got.
Aaron Rodgers may save them for a year, but that's about it.
That pick that we got from them, 203, that's the pick that we used to draft that kicker that's going to be our kicker for the next 15 years, the next Justin Tucker. Oh my God, have you seen that kid kick? Holy cow.
It's practice.
Huh?
It's practice.
No, I've been watching his games. He kicked for Alabama.
Still. We've heard this with Daniel Carlson.
Yeah, and he turned out pretty good.
I personally don't.
Of course, after we got rid of him.
I personally don't ever think you should ever use a draft pick on a kicker.
Kickers are a dime a dozen.
There's too many other important positions.
And there were still. I was on the telecast with Catch, and there were still some guys there that we could have drafted, but we took the damn kicker. And we could have got a lot of help in the trenches, but we took the kicker.
Now, I understand they still got some of the players they wanted, but
right.
I don't think you should draft a kicker. I'm just saying that.
I wouldn't waste a draft pick on a kicker or punter.
Right. And did you guys see the story on was it Dan Patrick or was it no, it was Pat McAfee show. He had Stephon Diggs on.
Oh yeah.
Stephon Diggs says the Vikings traded him to hurt his career. Motherfucker, you're a fucking diva crybaby little bitch.
The only thing hurting his career is him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we had ill intention sending him to Buffalo. Like, what the fuck, dude? We should have sent his ass to Carolina or something.
Yeah, if we really hated him,
If we really hated him, we'd have sent him to Carolina.
Yeah.
Let him deal with that sorry ass franchise.
Or Washington.
Or Washington, yeah. Didn't he play in a couple of championship games with the Bills?
Yeah, he went to the playoffs every damn year that he was there. And they went to the AFC championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, he got as far with them as he did with us. And he had talk about ungrateful that we sent him, that we had ill will towards him.
I think he just likes to bitch. He really has nothing to complain about. He just likes to complain. He's a miserable person. He's probably
that's why I really appreciated how Jefferson handled the whole contract thing. You never heard anything.
One has class, if the one doesn't.
Yeah, Diggs is just you did pretty well for a 5th round pick. You weren't even supposed to make the team. So, just shut up and play, because before you know it, you're playing a position where you could be replaced this year, anytime, any day.
Well, especially when he's on the wrong side of 30 now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he needs to just shut up. Either that or take his ass to Canada.
Yeah. Like I said, he should be grateful that we sent him to a contender. We could have sent
him a good young quarterback.
Yeah, he had a young quarterback too.
And he was the number one option.
Yeah, and here's the thing. He got outplayed by Gabe Davis. Josh Allen could depend on Gabe Davis more than he could depend on Stephon Diggs. And Stephon was complaining even then when he was in Buffalo with Josh Allen.
It was 1A, 1B when he was here with Thielen.
Yeah.
But come on, dude. He had over 1,000 yards every year, pretty much.
Yeah. The numbers were still good. He was still making Pro Bowl. He is still one of the top receivers in the league, and he goes to Buffalo, and he just he's older now too. So
yeah,
I don't know with him. I just be like I said, you were a 5th round choice. Be grateful you stayed with the team. Yeah, I give Houston credit. They've got some guys there that will keep his ass in check. They're not going to let him.
Especially if J.J. Watt goes back.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you want to keep talking? We'll see how many receptions you get.
Mm-hmm. Hey, selling Diggs left Minnesota. Here's the thing with Thielen. Thielen was a Minnesota kid. That's the whole thing with Thielen. And Thielen was dependable catching the ball. He ran better routes than Diggs.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing with Thielen. And plus, Thielen is, like I said, a Minnesota kid.
Oh,
He's
Stephen A.
so
Smith was all like, I don't know what the hell Minnesota was doing, thinking Thielen was better than Diggs, that they kept Thielen and let Diggs go.
Because Thielen is not a head case. That's why.
Yeah.
Thielen was not a head case. I think Thielen eventually left because he just was. I mean, he worked with Kirk as a teammate, but he might have said, "When this is as far as we're getting with Kirk."
Well, from what I understand, even today, Diggs said Cousins was not the reason why he wanted to be traded. So I don't know how we take that, but he's not
He's so full of shit.
He's not throwing Cousins under the bus. But I think maybe it had to do with Zimmer, or I don't know.
Well, no, he spent a year here with. Okay, it could be O'Connell.
No.
Okay,
You mean Thielen?
He spent a year here with O'Connell.
No, he left because he wasn't. He left because he wasn't getting as many targets.
That could be Kirk and O'Connell.
Well, and it's like he's older and slower, and of course he's not going to get as many targets as JJ. You know.
No, but I mean, if he still got gas in the tank, I mean, he could get. I mean, was he the leading receiver for Carolina last year?
Yeah.
Yep. But I think he was also expensive too.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. He wouldn't take a pay cut.
Oh, that's what it was. That's right. Here's a lot of these players, though. We got to realize how many pay cuts did they take before?
Yeah, they're all not going to be Harrison Smith.
Yeah, I mean, how many?
Because I'm like, well, Harrison Smith took a pay cut. He's still here.
Well, here's the thing too. You got all those players. You got all those players that took pay cuts, but your high price free agent acquisition at QB never did.
Exactly.
So, you know,
I also
and I mean, I respect like Harrison Smith taking a pay cut because he's already gotten his contracts. You know.
Yeah, and Harrison's just going. He's got what this year. I think he retires.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't expect a guy who's just getting his first contract after his rookie contract to take a pay cut because he should get as much money as he can. But you know, for somebody who's already gotten like second, third contract, I mean, and they're at the end of their.
I mean, Harrison Smith was what, 2012?
Yeah, 2012. Yeah, him and Matt Khalil.
So I mean, he's definitely got that pension for the rest of his life too. So
yeah, he's set.
Yeah,
he's set. Anybody that plays 7 or 8 years in the league is set.
Structured.
You have to be in the league.
But is it the same for everybody, or does it go by how much money you made as a player?
No, it's the bottom line is 7 years, I think.
Right. No, but I'm saying that how much you get paid for that.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
So everybody gets paid the same once they hit the 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Guess what?
Shouldn't AP have money coming in? Because when he get that pension.
Yeah, but he owes so much money.
Who's that? AP?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. AP gets the same pension as other players, but here's the deal. AP doesn't have any of the money he made when he played. So guess what? He's basically living off that pension. And I think, who was it? Ezra Tuaolo said, it's not a lot of money. It's better than nothing, but it's not a lot of money.
Yeah. Like, are we talking 6 figures?
You know what? I'm going to have to ask. I don't
think it's public information either.
I know. I'll have to ask, because even the older players. Well, now this is weird. Is it just the current players that get the pension, or do the players that played before 1980 or before 1990 get a pension? I don't know. I forgot. As many of the guys as I talked to, I forgot to ask them. You know, and a lot of them now are retired. They're on literally those that are from the old days. They're on Social Security.
Yeah. Well, and like the thing with Thielen too was it's like he was getting older, he was slower, his targets and his production was not worth the money that we were paying him at, which was what at about 20 mil.
Yeah, and they knew they were going to have to. I think they were ready to move on anyway because Kwesi and KOC kind of want to put this plan into place. They want these players. It's like a 27 club. They want you to be 27 or younger.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you can't have like a bunch of 30-year-olds competing with a bunch of 20-year-olds and expect to win.
And what's his name? Rick Spielman signed a bunch of bloated contracts for a lot of players. And so when Kwesi came in, he was stuck with these contracts for these players that were, past their prime.
Right.
So now they're going with the philosophy that 27 is probably the
cutoff.
The cutoff. And so they're going to go younger, which is, I can understand, is cheaper. I mean, the only one you're paying right now is JJ. You're going to have to pay Darisaw.
And I mean, even after we pay Darisaw, we're still going to have money because of all those rookie contracts. Because Addison is on a rookie contract. Let's see who else. Blackman is on a rookie contract. A lot of the new guys are all on rookie contracts.
Yeah, right. Selling. They are paying O'Neal. But O'Neal's up there too. So O'Neal coming off an injury too. If he starts to slide any,
Well, I think that's why they drafted. I mean, because I noticed they drafted a lot more linemen this draft than any other draft.
They drafted Rouse, who
and Jurgens.
Yeah,
his name is.
Yeah, which now see, here's the thing too. Yeah, they need to pay Bynum and Metellus too. They'll pay both of those guys.
But safeties don't cost a lot, right?
The one that's gonna want the most money is probably Metellus because he plays damn near every position except defensive end or nose tackle.
Sure.
Yeah, but he just got an extension last season.
Yeah, they're going to have to pay him, though. They are.
Yeah.
Bynum, he'll get paid. Bynum won't demand a lot. And plus, with Harrison retiring, you're going to have to pay your safeties. Lewisine is probably gone.
I would imagine so, because like I said, I mean, if San Fran can move away from Trey, from what's his name? Trey, what's that quarterback they drafted?
Who?
San Fran. That's now with the Cowboys.
Oh, Trey Lance?
Oh yeah. I'm like, if San Fran can move away from Trey Lance and they gave up a lot of picks, we can freaking move on from Scene, okay?
Yeah, and both of them had injuries, so.
I put the link if anybody wants to join.
And both of them, and Metellus was an extension, right? Or was that a new contract?
Yep.
Yeah, his was an extension.
Okay, it's an extension, so they're gonna have to pay him again. Yeah, Scene is just, oh my god.
He's just buried on. I mean, he's like the last one on that chart, on the depth chart.
Well, you know what? What's his name? That first draft that Kwesi had, everybody could probably be gone.
Except Ingram and Ty Chandler.
Ingram could get benched. Yeah, Ingram could get benched. The only one who's actually going to do anything is probably Ty Chandler if KFC runs the ball this year. Yeah, Norpheus, that was what I heard. He's just not getting it.
He's probably gonna have to go to like a system that a team that runs that Fangio system then.
Well, no, he can't get it. He can't. I don't know what it. He just can't get. He's used to freelancing. and he can't play disciplined. He doesn't know.
Yeah, but if he goes to Philadelphia, don't they got the other two Georgia defensive guys from the same defense he was in?
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to cover up for his stupid ass. And they're defensive linemen. You know. And Scene is just looking. Scene made plays like Selling says. He just made plays. He was instinctive. He didn't have to read. He didn't have to react. He just attacked.
If Scene couldn't figure out Dumatel's defense, there ain't no way the hell he can figure out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty bad.
And Flores is not going to deal with players that he ain't going to deal with dummies, put it that way.
Well, especially when Flores is hoping to get another chance at head coaching, he's not gonna let some kid who can't do shit play.
Yeah, put it this way. He's already got owners that don't want to give him a head coaching gig. He's not going to get it screwed up more by some idiot player who can't grasp his defense.
Yeah.
You know. So now here's the thing too. Depending on how the Vikings do, unless something changes drastically, Flores is probably gone.
Nah, I don't think so. Not until that lawsuit.
Yeah, but this is the last year of his 2-year deal.
Yeah, but they can always renew him.
He may not do it.
Well, if why wouldn't he? If he's got nowhere to go.
Oh, he's got somewhere to go. He's got somewhere to go. I mean, he could go as an assistant coach. He can go anywhere. It's the head coach that.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna leave here to go be an assistant coach somewhere else. I think if he leaves here, he's gonna leave to go be a head coach.
I would think so too, but I mean, we don't know his working relationship with KOC either. So I mean, it's a possibility, but he'd have to either, if he signs an extension before the season, we know what's up, but somebody's going to take a chance on him. Somebody is. Somebody's going to see.
Look at the teams that have the coaches on the hot seat.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like he's gonna. I'm sure since it's gonna be his second stint, he's gonna be a lot more choosy about which.
Actually, wouldn't this be? Wait a minute. Wouldn't this be his third? I thought he was a head coach before Miami. He had got a gig as a head coach.
No, he was the Patriots DC before Miami.
Okay, but I thought he had I thought he was an interim with somebody at one time. I could be wrong.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't think that he is.
Okay, Catch, you gonna Google it or am I gonna Google it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I think that KOC and Flores have different styles, but I don't know. I don't think he's intimidated by Flores. He just lets Flores run the defense however Flores wants.
Flores is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Flores is more in your face where KOC is more laid back, that's a problem with KOC. He's too soft. I just think KOC is too soft. What'd you say, Kurt?
I think you're on mute, Curtis.
I'm yelling at my dog.
Oh.
Man,
No, stop. Stop. I got to be honest. I don't know if Scene would succeed somewhere else. It's almost like he's just, and this is what happens when you get into pros. You're going to be asked to do things that you're not freelancing.
Well, let's just hope he took that money he made and invested.
Well, I hope he hung on to it. Wasn't a lot, but it's more than he'll probably make in a lifetime if he doesn't make it in football.
I mean, it's a couple million because he's a first-round draft pick, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean,
So he started off as scouting assistant and a pro scout for the Patriots from 2006 to 2007.
Okay.
Then from 2008, he was coach with the Patriots to 2019. 2019 to 2021, he was the head coach of the Dolphins. And then he was the defensive back coach for the Steelers. And then he became defensive coordinator for Minnesota.
Then he became coordinator with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing with that: when he left the Steelers to become defensive coordinator, that's a bump in pay. It's a step up from just a position coach. So the only
That's why I
place
said I don't think he would leave the Vikings unless it was for a head coaching job.
which
Well, who are the coaches that are on the hot seat?
Dable?
McCarthy.
Dable,
Yeah, but if McCarthy gets fired, don't you think they'd
Sirianni.
move Zimmer?
Yeah, Sirianni's on the hot seat. What about the coach in Carolina?
No, he
Nah,
just
he
got
just got
hired
there.
this year.
He
Yeah,
just
he
got there.
hired.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dennis Allen in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, him. But
Yeah,
I think, because usually like teams, if they had defensive coaches,
Mhm.
then the next the next coach they hire is going to be offense.
Well, they go in cycles too. Like there'll be a string of offensive coaches, then there'll be a string of
But then,
defensive coaches,
If you
and
think about it, there aren't. I don't know, because then there aren't. Let's see. So Dable is in the hot seat.
oh,
He's
so
the
is
offensive coach.
you know who else? McDermott's in the hot seat in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, him too. Allen.
Is Zach Taylor okay, or has he got some heat?
I think
I
he
don't
gets a break because what's his name was hurt.
Burrow.
Yeah.
What about this? Let's see who's in the South. Well, the AFC South.
Doug
Peterson could be.
Yeah, especially if they gave all that money to Trevor and they don't make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Well, here's Gil Stefanski is okay because
He just won Coach of the Year, so I think.
He's okay in Cleveland.
The Raiders
And-
just hired a coach.
Raiders just hired Antonio Pierce.
Tomlin, you would think Tomlin, but he just got an extension, so
He
he's not
just signed
going
an extension.
He just got an extension.
Andy Reid is not going anywhere
No.
until he wants to.
Do you think Shanahan is?
I
If
don't
they
think
don't-
Shanahan's in danger. McVay, I don't think he's in danger.
McVay just got there, so they're going to give him at least 2 or 3 more years to put his plan into place. But
And then the Cardinals coach just got hired. The Seattle coach just got hired.
yeah,
So that's the NFC North.
Eberflus.
Oh yeah, him too.
Eberflus was the only one that one.
Yeah, like people were saying that KOC's seat is hot. I'm like, no, it's not, because they just drafted a quarterback. There's no way they're gonna fire KOC, even if we have a bad year, because they just drafted McCarthy.
Here's what bothers me, and this is what bothers me because everybody up here is saying, "Well, this is a pass year. This is like whatever happens doesn't matter. We're gearing up for next year." Bullshit. Anytime you're in professional, you're trying to win right here, right now. If you're waiting to do it next year and it doesn't pan out, both Kwesi and KOC are gone.
I don't know. I don't think so.
If put it this way, if you're now, this is their team. You made the playoffs with Zimmer.
Yes, this is their team, but this is their team on a bridge quarterback, not the quarterback they drafted.
The name of the game is still winning. It's still winning.
Yeah, but they're not going to get rid of.
I think whatever happens, I think they could go 3-14. KOC job would be safe.
Yeah, I do too.
I think what happens
if you go
with-
3-14, I'm going to start seriously asking questions about KOC's coaching, play calling, and everything else.
Well, I'm just saying, I think the ownership was not going to do anything about KOC.
So
I think what's going to happen is whatever happens with JJ. So if JJ doesn't work out, or let's say all the draft picks that Kwesi's done kind of turn out. Dallas Turner turns to be good. Cornerbacks all turn out to be good, or they're serviceable starters. And then McCarthy struggles. I think if McCarthy struggles, it won't be as much on Kwesi. I think it's all going to be on.
That's on KOC.
I don't think it's gonna matter that much because they didn't mortgage the future to go get McCarthy.
Here's another thing, though. This is what bothers me. This is where everybody should have red flags about KOC as an offensive coordinator. I was listening to Judd Zolgad, and I've heard them on Purple Daily. They have said ad nauseum that KOC has the most complex offense in the NFL to learn. Okay, you got a rookie quarterback. Why don't you dumb it down for him? Why don't you make it simpler for him to grasp? Why does it have to be so complicated? Why does it have to be so complex? It's almost like KOC's ego is getting in the way. Make it, if the kid is a rookie, make it simple for him. Don't discourage him by giving him these fucking plays that he's got to, extravagant plays he's got to learn. Keep it simple for him. That's what Harbaugh did in Michigan. You keep it simple. Why can't
who do you believe? Because some people say McCarthy has been lights out, but some people say he looks like a rookie. So which one is it?
It's probably both.
I think it's somewhere in the middle.
I think it's both.
I think he's gonna have his good days and he's gonna have bad days because they change his footwork. By changing his footwork, it's gonna take time for him to get used to it. So it's gonna be up and down.
Who changed his footwork? KOC?
Yeah.
KOC and Gown.
Why?
Because they want him to be when he's in the shotgun or something like that. They want him to have his left foot out first, not his right foot. So it's just changing minor mechanics like that.
Yeah, that could throw off a kid big time. That could throw him off.
Yeah, but if what he was doing is not was not working, then I mean,
it worked.
Now,
The kid won a national championship in college football, and he won in high school. That he's won with that thing. Now you're going to change this one dynamic. That one dynamic could screw him up completely,
or it could make him better.
Who are these idiots that are doing KOC? Okay, KOC failed quarterback. McCown failed quarterback. Come on.
Yeah, but the old saying, those who can't coach.
Yeah, those who can't play don't automatically make good coaches.
I'm just saying.
My God. It's like if the kid's mechanics, if it's with throwing the ball, I can understand that. You start screwing with their footwork, you start screwing with other things, his mechanics that work for him. Now he's got to learn a completely different system, and it throws him off. Then he starts thinking instead of just playing.
I totally disagree with what you're saying, Selling McCarthy. I don't think he failed Kirk at all because Kirk had his best season with KOC. So that's dumb to say that he failed Kirk.
Well, you know what though? I get where he's saying he failed. He failed Hall and Dawes because he kept that offense in there. He didn't dumb it down for them. He didn't keep it simple for them. He almost went out there and had them be Kirk, and they're not Kirk. They're completely different players from Kirk. And now I'll tell you what, with KOC's attitude, he's probably thinking, I've got this young quarterback he'll run the offense the way I want him to run the offense. I don't have to maybe dumb it down for him because he's younger. He'll pick it up, blah, 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 blah. He's got a different set skill that probably works with what they want to do. We don't know. But when you start messing with the player's mechanics, that can have an adverse problem.
Yeah, or like I said, I mean, it could make him better. And from what he's saying in his press conference, he's saying that he understands why they made the changes because he can see how it's made a difference.
Who said that? JJ?
Yeah.
He's okay. He's a rookie. And even a veteran, you're not going to go up there to the presser and
Well, I'm just
somebody
saying,
on
I mean,
blast.
I can only go by what he's saying. And so
right.
that's what
He's saying the press friendly thing. I mean, he's doing everything press friendly and all that. So maybe it does work. Maybe he can grasp it. Maybe he can do it. But I mean, you can't.
Well, yeah, because then, like, I mean, at like Judd was saying, like, he's noticed a difference, and Matthew Collar was saying they've noticed a difference, but it's up and down because he's a rookie.
Well, and here's the thing too. You've changed his dynamics, right? You changed him in practice. He doesn't have a 250-pound linebacker hounding him in a game where he's got to think on the fly. He doesn't have a safety blitz in him. He doesn't have that. He's not in the line of fire, put it that way. So how he does in the line of fire is completely different. I mean, that whole mechanic thing, that could throw him off. It could.
Yeah, well, the good thing about it is that he said he was going to be here all summer in the facility working his butt off. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, he stays at the hotel across the street.
I mean, it's a nice hotel.
You know, and plus he's kind of he's more of a Minnesota guy than people realize because I give him credit. He's an ex-hockey player, so he's tough as hell.
Yeah.
So, he could probably take a hit. Oh, hey, baby. Trisha's here.
I want her to come on and give her thoughts about Cousins.
No, you
For
don't.
real. When is she going to come on and tell us about her favorite new Falcons quarterback?
I'm telling you right now. No, you don't.
I got the parental advisory up.
Well, it's up. It doesn't matter. She says she'll come on probably when the season starts. So, yeah, she says she'll. See, I told you. Yeah, she'll be on. It's right now it's off season, so she's a big Braves fan too. So sounds like the Braves aren't doing much this year either. So she's just waiting for football, but yeah, it could be a long season for both of our teams. So
well, what I don't get is like,
oh, for God's sake, she did not go there.
oh Lord. Now they ain't even gonna make the playoffs.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Well, they're in a weak division, so being in a
We'll
weak
be here when Kirk throws short on 4th and 8, and your season's over, Trisha.
I want you watching I want you to set up a phone recording video of when the Falcons make the playoffs with Cousins, and it's 3rd and 5, and
dude, if the Falcons make the playoffs with Cousins, I'm gonna be salty like hell. Put it this way, what we could barely get in 6 years with his ass, all of a sudden he's gonna now go to the playoffs with the Falcons in 1 year. I'm gonna be salty. I am gonna be salty.
That's true. They are in the NFC South, though. They could make it with 8-9 record.
8-9 wins their division. Yeah, 8-9 wins their division. I mean, the Saints are in trouble because they've, you know what? Catch, don't be surprised. Radler got drafted by the Saints, right?
Yeah,
He might end up playing this year.
Yeah.
I think he's a starter next year.
He might be starting before next year.
Oh, so I watched this. I was on YouTube one day. I was clicking on videos, and I came upon this video. I clicked on it, and it was like, what if the Vikings had drafted Derek Carr?
You know what? I talked to Bob Lertzema about that, and he was telling me, because we were talking about that draft. He told me the Vikings had no interest in Derek Carr, none whatsoever.
Oh yeah, because then they drafted Teddy instead of Derek Carr.
He drafted Teddy instead of Derek Carr. Yeah,
Yeah.
he told me the Vikings had no interest in Derek Carr.
But I'm just like, but what if we had drafted Derek Carr? You know,
Zimmer probably would have been out of a job sooner.
you think so?
Yeah. Carr would have probably put that defense in more predicaments than, because Carr turns the ball over when you least expect it. At least with Teddy wasn't going to turn the ball over. Teddy was going to run the offense the way Zimmer wanted it ran, the way Zimmer and Norv Turner wanted it ran.
Which was run, pass.
Run, pass, which is basically 1980s, 1990s football.
Yeah.
That's what he was going to do. But yeah, Carr was, and I remember watching Carr in college. He was good, but I wasn't that impressed with him.
Carrs and Cousins are pretty much the same quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, Norpheus, I did. I talked to Benchwarmer Bob. I used to talk to him all the time. That's where I get a lot of my stories about the old school Vikings. Bob right now, I believe. I haven't talked to him in a long time, and somebody said that he has early onset dementia, so he doesn't make public appearances like he used to either. So
this is like so off topic, but I just found this out the other day, so I gotta share it with you guys. Did you guys know? Do you guys watch the Marvel movies?
Some of them.
Did you watch Endgame and yeah? Did you watch Endgame?
I didn't see Endgame.
No.
How about the one before that? What's it called?
That was the Avengers, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Avengers. But the one before Endgame was Well, anyways, the one of the stars in that show, the one where she's got like psychic powers or whatever, where she can she had a twin. Do you remember?
She had a twin?
She had a twin, and they had psychic powers where they could like move things and like whatever. Anyways, my point was that she is the younger sister of the Olsen twins from Full House.
Oh, I've heard of her. Yes, I know
Yeah,
you're talking
about.
I was so shocked.
About,
I was like,
yeah, you're talking about Elizabeth Olsen.
You're talking
Yeah.
She can't stand her sisters, by the way.
Mm-mm. Oh, was she she's Red Witch.
yeah, Wanda.
Wanda, yes. Which I forget her name. I used to read the comic books all the time.
Yeah.
She was Mary Division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She I never knew that she was the younger sister of the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't put that out there. Wait, Trisha's got a cheerleader outfit? Wait.
Well, it's nice doing the show with you tonight, Tony.
Trisha's been holding out on me, damn it.
You're lucky that game is at 1 p.m., Trisha. Now you
No
have a
pictures.
chance.
Well, you know what, though? Depending on how they're doing
Hey,
it,
Tony,
Tony, next.
if there's no pictures, it doesn't count. She needs to see you some pictures.
Oh, she'll do that. Scarlet Witch, that's her name. Yes, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Infinity War.
Yep, Infinity War, Scarlet Witch. Yep.
The
Yeah,
only Marvel I watch is Deadpool.
I haven't watched a Marvel movie in a long time.
Oh,
just-
Infinity War was so good. So was Endgame.
Yeah, see, I got to check both of those out. You know.
Yeah, I'm not even a Marvel person. I don't really care for Marvel movies, but I really liked
Thanks,
The
North.
Winter Soldier and Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, I need to get caught up on my Marvel lore. Well, and they've done these comic books like 3-4 times now. They've come up with different versions, and some of them are close to the comic book, some of them aren't. Some of them take liberties, you know.
So so you've read the comics then?
I used to read the comics all the time. Yeah.
So did they really go back in time to get the stones again to fight Thanos again?
That was later. I know, like in the 2000s, they had the whole Marvel. There was like a Marvel Civil War. They had that going on.
Oh yeah, no, stop! I didn't even watch Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they had a series. Marvel Comics had a series. It was called Marvel Civil War. And it was basically the superheroes against each other.
Yeah.
They had a really, like, years ago, they promoted the hell out of it, and they had a really cool poster with all the superheroes in battle against each other. Which that poster is worth a lot of money now. But yeah, that was in the 2000s when
Well, no, stop. The problem with the Captain Marvel movie is that the actress who plays Captain Marvel,
mm-hmm.
the reason people don't like her is because she didn't pay her dues like all the other Marvel actors had to, playing small roles first.
She kind of got typecast. She just got
the character, having a small part in someone else's movie. She became like the most, because Captain Marvel was the most powerful character. She became the most powerful character right away.
Here's the thing: why did they make Captain Marvel a woman?
Yeah, there's four better words.
I thought she was the daughter of Captain America.
No, Captain Marvel in the comic books is a dude.
Oh, damn.
Because it's Disney and Disney.
Oh, by the way, when you watch Thor, they made Valkyrie a mixed girl. Valkyrie, first of all, is a Norse goddess. There were no people of color in the Norse legends, but somehow Valkyrie ended up mixed.
Yeah.
It's that four-letter word that everybody talks about.
Oh my god!
Starts with a W, ends with an E. Disney is very, very that word.
Oh yeah. Still,
And they don't care about facts. Like, okay, everybody knows the Norwegian culture. The only people of color in the Norwegian culture were slaves that they brought from other parts of the world.
right?
And there probably wasn't very many of them.
Right.
By the way, the Vikings had everybody as slaves, not just people. If they went to, and they conquered you, they brought you back. You were a slave when you came back. It didn't matter what culture, wherever you were from. It's like the problem with Disney. The reason why Disney's in trouble right now is because they're changing traditional characters. Like the Seven Dwarfs are now the Seven Elementals.
What?
The seven what?
The Seven Elementals, the Seven Elements. It's Snow White and the Seven Elements. They're no longer dwarfs.
So they're no longer Dopey,
Say
Doc,
what?
Sleepy, and whoever.
They're no longer short, fat, white dudes.
So, so people, that's why Marvel movies are losing their luster. That's why a lot of Disney stuff is not doing as well, because it's not. They're too worried about being politically correct than being factually correct.
That's just dumb. Because I mean, I would be offended if Mulan was blonde.
Oh, it won't go the other way, Sarah. They're not going to make it. They're not going to go the other way. Like, they're not going to change the characters to, like, if the character is half and half, they're not going to make that character white, or they're not going to do that. They're going to.
We also got to, I guess, from what they said about Walt Disney, he was a half-ass Nazi sympathizer or some shit like that. Yeah, see, told you guys, I'm going to have to deal with her. She's just put it out there. It's payback. It is payback for 6 years. No, I'm not bringing Jen on. She's a Packer fan. Hell no.
Who's Jen?
Jen is a friend of me and Trisha's. She's a Packer fan, and she thinks she knows everything.
Speaking of Packer fans, where's Steve?
He was in here earlier.
He was in here earlier. Yeah, he was in here earlier. Yeah, that's another person that's going to get paid is Jordan Love. When is he going to get a contract?
Not
Probably
soon enough,
before
hopefully.
camp.
Hopefully they give him all the money.
Oh yeah, they're
Like
going to
70 million.
And he's not worried about not having a number one receiver.
Yeah, because his number one can't stay healthy.
Oh, Watson?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has one. He's just not healthy. I mean, that's why they drafted him. He was supposed to be the next Randy Moss. So it's not like he doesn't have one. He does have one.
Okay, I'm just going to put the. What is it with Green Bay and Randy Moss? I mean, he's been out of football for how long? He's been out of division for how long? Can you guys move on from Randy Moss?
Well, they're comparing. I mean, didn't you see that comparison last year when they were comparing Watson to Randy Moss?
What?
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh my God! They were saying how like Watson is going to be the next Randy Moss, and he's going to be better than Randy Moss.
Oh my God.
But this was just the younger Packers fans, because then Aaron Nagler was like, whoa, let's stop with the comparison. You guys have not seen, you guys don't know how much Randy Moss terrorized Packers.
So it's the Packer fans that have a drinking problem and have yet to admit it.
It's the younger Packers fans who don't know
Well,
Randy,
most Packer fans are under the age of 40.
that say that Christian Watson is better than Randy Moss.
Aaron Nagler, I know who you're talking about. I watch him sometimes, like when the Vikings beat the Packers. I'll watch it. He understands. He's actually was around when the Packers were shitty. So he tries to tell the Young Bucks that, but they don't listen. He's like, you don't understand the unprecedented, historic run that the Packers had at quarterback. He's like, it could all come down to it. And yeah, Jordan Love had a good year, but that's only one good year. He could suck.
And they should really thank themselves that Jerry Glanville is the dumbest fuck to ever coach in the NFL. He's the one that traded Favre to Green Bay.
Yeah, Trisha's team could have had him.
Yeah.
Yep, y'all
Actually,
could have.
Trisha goes to Arizona and gets booted out of Packer bars all the time. She gets booted out of them. She damn near started a fight the last time she was in Arizona in a Packer bar. Yeah, Norpheus, she was there to visit our friend Jen, who lives in Arizona, and they went to go watch the Packers play the Falcons at a Packer bar, and Trisha was like the only Falcon fan up there with another fan, and that's the game where the Falcons came from behind and beat the Packers. And Packer fans, they do that stupid conga line every time they score. And Trisha was trying to punch them all as they went by her. And Atlanta won it in the last second, and the Packer fans cleared out. Didn't say a word.
How much do you guys think Love is gonna get?
What did Lawrence get?
I think Love is going to be the second highest paid quarterback.
Oh, it's about Trevor's contract since he's a Jags fan.
So Love is going to be right behind Lawrence.
You think so?
Well, who's the highest paid now? Is it Lawrence?
No,
He's
Mahomes.
tied with Burrow.
Mahomes is the highest paid quarterback.
Mahomes is like 10th.
No, Mahomes is.
I think with his new contract, he dropped.
Mahomes is 10th. Kirk is above Mahomes.
What?
No, he's not.
Yeah, I saw the list. It's Trevor and Burrow that's tied, and then Goff, and then
You know what? I saw that graphic too.
But
I don't-
Kyler's in there. Kirk is above Mahomes at 9.
Here's the thing now.
Lamar is in there.
Yeah, and
Deshaun
Lamar
Watson on there.
and the players are mad because Lamar Jackson didn't show up for OTAs, and his Baltimore teammates are mad at him.
Yeah, he's getting fined. No, not OTs, minicamp, right?
Yeah, mandatory.
Yeah, because he's getting fined, what, 750,000? I mean, that's chump change.
You know, Trevor. You know what? Jordan Love's probably going to get just a little bit under Trevor Lawrence.
But see, that's, I don't know. That would bug me too, because he's supposed to be the leader. And he just got that much money. His ass better be showing up to mini camp, you know?
Lamar.
Yeah.
No, he's probably going to get hurt in October. I mean, it's so Love is gonna he should get Lawrence money. He's actually done more than Lawrence. And he wasn't a starter all the time.
Well, I don't understand why they couldn't wait for Lawrence to play another year before they extend him. I don't understand why they had to extend him now.
That's probably, you know what? It's funny. What's his name was down there for a minute. Rick Spielman. That's almost a Spielman move. Seriously. That's almost
Because,
a
I mean,
Spielman
he's
move.
just going into his, 4th year, and he still has his 5th year option.
Well, they get it done now. So when the cap goes up, they know what they're going to have with their new
Yeah, but if he hasn't really done much, how are you going to give him how are you going to justify giving him all that money?
because you're banking on him to be your franchise quarterback. You have gone to the playoffs with him.
I guess.
You know, you draft him to be your franchise quarterback, but
Yeah, but I saw a thingy where they were comparing him and Daniel Jones's numbers, and they were
I saw that they're identical. They're identical. Only difference between Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence, Trevor's got longer hair, but those statistical records are the same.
Damn, where's East Coast? I saw him come on here earlier. I want to hear his view.
I think they also got the same amount of playoff wins too.
Mahomes is the highest paid quarterback in the league, even though he doesn't make the most year to year. He's the highest paid quarterback.
How long is he signed a big 10-year? He didn't sign a 10-year
He signed
contract.
a 10-year contract, and every year is $45 million. So yes, Lawrence and them may make more money on this year. Mahomes for 10 years makes $45 million. So there may be a year where so when you look at total value of the contract, Mahomes is the highest paid quarterback.
Oh, East Coast is on. I know he's he is,
Yeah, East Coast. Hey, yeah, East Coast. You should come on and tell us what you feel about that Lawrence extension.
yeah.
We want to hear.
I dropped a link in there. I could drop it again if you want.
I did see the short where him and another guy were questioning it big time.
Yeah,
You know.
because there was a Giants fan who called. Like I told you, because I listen to Sirius XM.
Mhm.
There was a Giants fan who called. He's like, "Why does Daniel Jones get all this hate from everybody, media, fans, but Lawrence is a media darling?" And going back to what you guys are saying, if you look at their numbers, they're identical.
Yes.
So he's like, why does Daniel Jones get all the hate and Joey Lawrence is the media darling? He says,
It's the hair.
He's like, he can't be more. It can't be just because he plays in New York. There's got to be something more to that, you know. But they did say that New York is a big reason
Mm-hmm.
for that. Like if Lawrence played in New York, he'd probably be getting the same amount of hate that he gets.
Now I'll tell you what, Daniel Jones also has Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
You know, but Barkley was hurt. He would get hurt, but they kind of wasted Barkley's talent. You know? And yeah, it's New York, it's the media capital, so naturally he's gonna get that heat. Why do you think Kirk didn't want to go to New York?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Aaron-
I knew there was no way he was going to go to
But-
the Jets.
The Atlanta media is not as nice.
No, he's not. Here's the thing. Kirk was coddled up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you going to find out.
Minnesota and
Tomlinson was the only guy who asked him questions, and they shipped him off to Denver.
yeah, anybody that asked a question, they took your press pass. They took your press. They wouldn't give you your press credentials.
Yeah.
If you asked any kind of questions negatively, or if you talk negatively about Kirk, they took your press credentials. You know, this team bent over backwards to protect Kirk. You know, and Kirk was not gonna. Kirk never said he would take a hometown discount. As much as he said, "Oh, I love Minnesota. I want to finish my career here." Blah 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 blah. When the money was there, and the Vikings said they're not going to break the bank for him, he was gone.
Yep.
He was gone. Didn't hesitate. He was gone. You know, but it's you know, Kirk is one of, and remember, Kirk would get in the presser and say, "Well, I got to look at the game film to see what happened, what went wrong." Oh, whatever, dude. You know, it's.
Have a safe flight, East Coast.
Be safe, man.
Yep.
But yeah, it's with Kirk now. He's going down.
Just real quick, East Coast, before you leave, the invitation's always open for you to join.
Yeah. Yep. It's now Kirk is going to Atlanta. They're not protecting him. The only one that would protect him was Arthur Blank, but Arthur Blank just wants.
And he's starting to look old.
Well, he's 82.
So
Even himself, he knows he wants to get back to another Super Bowl. He wants to win it.
And so he decided to sign Kirk?
Yep.
hey, don't you know? No, don't you? Hey, don't you know? That since Kirk Cousins left Minnesota, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I forget.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
forget
we're
that,
going
Sarah.
3-14 because we have no Kirk. And
Oh, by the way,
Super Bowl.
Speaking of division, speaking of records, the guy from NFL Network must have fell and hit his head. Adam Rank. He has the Vikings going 7-10.
Again.
He usually has them going 3-14 or whatever.
Yeah, he also said that Jordan Addison is gonna regress. I'm like, so Jordan Addison's gonna regress, but
Is that the one that said he was going to regress? I saw that, and I just
Yep.
kind of laughed.
yeah, I can't stand him.
Yeah, I laughed at him. I'm like, he's going to regret? Really? He's going to regress? Come on. It's like, first of all, we weren't okay. National media, we weren't going to win because we had Kirk Cousins. That was last year. National media now, we're not going to win because we don't have Kirk Cousins.
And the Falcons are going to the Super Bowl.
And the Falcons are going to the Super Bowl. They're the best team in the NFL.
They're true contenders now.
Jeez.
It's ridiculous.
It's they talk
So,
out of
I know. So it's like I'm confused. So is Kirk good or not?
depends on who he plays for. Okay, put it this way. Since he's not playing for Minnesota now, he's a top 10 quarterback. When he was playing for Minnesota, he wasn't a top 10 quarterback. But he was the only bright spot on an otherwise bad team. You know, it's a lot of the shit that Zimmer said was true. You know, it cost him. I mean, you put that much money into somebody like Kirk, and Kirk has done nothing to really warrant that kind of money. I mean, he's got the ability. He's a damn good quarterback, but my God.
I wonder if he and Trevor Lawrence has the same agent.
I don't know, but that age is making bank. But remember, now when they drafted Penix, the first one to put the notice out there was Kirk's agent, that they didn't talk to him about this. And first of all, I want to say, well, who the fuck are you that anybody's got to talk to you about anything?
Right. I mean, they don't have no loyalty towards him. He's a mercenary.
So hold on, East Coast. Tell Beamer, as an alum, I appreciate what he's doing. When you talk to him. So
there you go, kissing up again, Curtis.
Hey, I don't have the access the East Coast has, man. So
I would just like somebody, if they ever go to a Big Ten coaches thing, for me to tell them that, as a lifelong Gopher fan, to tell PJ Fleck to go F himself.
We're never gonna get rid of him unless he croaks, huh?
And take that rowing oar and shove it up his ass.
Didn't we just extend him again?
Yeah.
So he ain't going nowhere.
Tony, here's a question for you. No one knows the answer. Maybe you do.
Okay.
Where did Sky Yuma come from?
It was I know it's hard to explain. I know where it came from. And I can't explain it. It was something said after it was, oh my God.
I thought it was like a rowing event or something like that, right?
It was something like that, but it was I've got the story of it over there on the bookshelf, one of the many books I showed you. Yeah, it had something to do. It was somebody came up with this. They won a competition. They started chanting Sky Yuma. It's got a meaning to it. It sounds better than row the boat. That's all I can say.
How
What
old
do you
is
think are the
PJ?
new uniforms?
Oh, PJ's young. PJ is.
Damn, so that means we're gonna be stuck with him for a long ass time.
Oh well, it depends. The guy they've got is Norpheus. It is rowing. The guy they got as the athletic director, Mark Coyle. He's not very well liked at the U. He's the one keeping Fleck around, but we're not. The Gophers aren't getting any. They're not getting recruits.
And they lost a bunch.
Yeah, they lost 29 players to the transfer portal.
Do we still have a team?
You know what? Guess what? That's why they didn't have their spring game. They came up with this excuse to not have their spring game like they have every year. The sad thing was, and my buddy told me this. He told me this in confidence, but whatever. They didn't have enough players to field a spring game. That's pretty bad.
So what are they going to do when the season starts?
They've got players through the NIL, and they got freshmen coming in. They do have players, but they're not going to put them. They didn't go through the spring practice like they usually do that.
So I think East Coast answering Skyuma question.
What, the Skyuma?
A coach said it, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's.
I just think it's funny you guys say like a saying, but no one knows truly where it came from.
Well, and nobody really. It's in the fight song. Rah 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 for Skyuma. I mean, nobody's questioned it in over how many years? I mean,
Probably because when everybody sings it, they're drunk.
oh yeah, and we usually sing it when we beat Michigan and Ohio State, and we never do that. So
We never need to question it.
yeah, no, exactly. Oh yeah. Because you know what? I did ask my dad when I was a kid, what does Skyuma mean? He didn't know. He just said, it's in the song.
Yeah.
It's in the song. But yeah, it's
What is this? Skyuma? What?
Skyuma.
Weird.
Skyuma. SKI-U-MAH.
Are you sure it's not ski?
No, it's Sky. It's Sky.
Skyuma.
Well, it is Minnesota. They do ski up here, but no, it's Skyuma. Yeah. I don't know why they just didn't say Sky Blue Waters. What the hell? But yeah, that program's in. It's in
pretty bad shape.
Yeah,
It's
We're just lucky they can't kick us out because we're grandfathered in.
it's the Jim Wacker era again, Tony.
it is. Oh, those idiots gave Wacker an extension before they fired him.
The only thing good about the Jim Wacker era was the uniforms.
The Wacker uniforms? I hated those uniforms.
So
Those were the ones that had those big ass M's on the shoulder.
they had the more or less the helmet.
I love the helmet. The helmet was gold. I love the helmet, but one year they had like the Minnesota.
Yeah, the one year they had it had said M, it had the line going into another M.
It was
Yeah, I'm not talking about those. The ones they had after those.
Those were classic.
Yeah.
Those are classic.
Yeah.
But then but yeah, I mean, and then they went well, and then they got Glenn Mason. Glenn Mason's the one they should have hung on to, but they fired him after he blew that lead against Texas Tech in that bowl game. But he had blown a couple of leads in a couple of bowl games that year.
Yeah.
I just found that out.
The ones that had the M, and then the line and go, those were ugly, but the ones they had after those were fire.
Yeah. And they were a darker maroon.
Yeah.
Yep, they were a darker maroon. Yeah, the ones with the M's were just bad. I mean, I didn't like the Gopher uniforms. They had the piping, that little gold piping on the side. I hated those. When who was it? Tim Brewster was here.
Oh yeah, God. Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm not even on the University of Minnesota. I mean, I watched them. They're not one of my main teams, but damn, I hate that. Oof.
That name sounds familiar.
What's that?
He was with the Broncos, and then he became the head coach of Minnesota.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this year's uniforms are cool because they got stripes on the pants and they got stripes on the jerseys.
Yeah.
They actually look like kind of the old school Gopher uniforms. They've got.
Oh, maybe we'll do a three-peat again.
The only difference
going old
is
school.
That if you go back to the Wacker area, there was the yellow or gold, what they call.
Yeah.
It's old gold, which is like what the 49er
gold. Like what the Saints have. It's more like what the Saints have.
That's what they had in the Wacker era. That's why those uniforms were awesome, other than the ones that had the M on it.
In the 70s, now when Tony Dungy was quarterback in there, they had the all gold uniforms.
Tony Dungy was the quarterback of the Gophers?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, he was a quarterback with the Gophers from 73 to 76.
Well, damn.
Yeah, that's why Tony is so close to Minnesota, because we kind of took him in as our own because he did play at the University of Minnesota, and he
Well,
coached with, like,
damn.
yep, yeah. He played at the U. Who else?
No, this guy I used to work with had pictures of him, like hanging out with Tony Dungy and all that, and I used to wonder like what the connection was. But
What was
this
the
is
guy?
all-
Did the guy play football at the U?
yeah,
What was his name?
Al Harris.
I know Al.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know Al. Yeah, he
big
played.
black guy.
Yes, he played at the U.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he played at the U.
Yeah, I used to work with him.
Okay, yeah, he played at the U. A lot of guys. Let's see, he played at the U. Carl Eller played at the U. Bobby Bell played at the U. Rick Upchurch, Marion Barber, all the Barbers played at the U of M.
Really?
Yes,
Damn.
all the Barbers played at the U of M. Their dad, Marion Barber, coached a semi-pro football team here in the Twin Cities.
Except for the Twins.
Oh, that's right. No, the Twins. Yeah, the Twins went somewhere else.
Yeah, Tiki and Rondé didn't play for the Gophers.
They're not related to Marion, though.
Right, but you said all Barbers, so people are going. I'm automatically thinking.
No, Marion's kids.
Yeah.
Marion's kids.
Tiki's like weird now that he's like not playing.
Oh, Tiki?
Yeah.
He didn't have the career that his brother did.
No, Rondé's a Hall of Famer. Tiki.
Yeah, Rondé's a Hall of Famer. Who else do we?
Yeah, but Tiki was a running back, wasn't he? And then Rondé was a
Corner.
defensive guy, right?
Yeah, he was a corner. Played in the Tampa too. Yeah, Norfield. Rick Upchurch was a Gopher. Yes, he was a Gopher. Bud Grant was a Gopher. He played with the Gophers. Most of your wrestlers played with the Gophers. Greg Gunn, Jim Brunzell,
Daryl Thompson.
Daryl Thompson. Ric Flair was a Gopher. He played football for the Gophers. Daryl Thompson. Who else?
These are glory days that we don't know about.
No, Daryl was here. Daryl's my age.
Well, yeah, he played in the late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah, he was a late '80s.
Unfortunately, he played for the Packers in the NFL, though.
Yeah, the Packers. Charlie Sanders. He said it years ago. He got drafted by the Lions, and he took it personal because Charlie went to the U of M, and the Vikings didn't even think about drafting him.
But they never do.
We very seldom draft
Yeah.
U of M guys, especially now. What's another famous Gopher recently? Lawrence Maroney.
What's his name? The guy that has a TV show who played for the Jets.
Aaron Decker. Eric Decker. Eric Decker was a Gopher. Rashad Bateman is a Gopher. Was a Gopher. Tony Carter was a Gopher. Tyrone Carter, I should say. Tony Carter, the fullback, was also a Gopher. There's been a lot of the Gopher teams were never good. They were okay. They were better in the 60s as time went on, though.
They're really good in the 30s.
And
Hey, how many teams can say they have a three-peat, okay?
yeah, Bama can't even say that.
Yeah, so there.
Yeah. I mean, another Bronco was a Gopher, Carl Mecklenburg. Although he played nose guard at the U of M, they moved him to linebacker in Denver, but he was a Gopher. Yeah, it's how I kind of hope guys like Yogi's nephew Jackson. I hope they can help. I think Jackson should be pretty good.
Oh, did he transfer from LSU to up here?
Yeah, he's a Gopher now.
Oh,
He's a Gopher now. I'll tell you what, he's an instant upgrade on that defense too. Instant upgrade. Unfortunately, the Gophers lost a lot of out-of-state talent years ago that they really would have helped them. but they
Tellus Redmond.
yeah, Tellus Redmond was a gopher.
Is that because they didn't like PJ? They left.
Yeah.
Part of it was a lot of gophers we lost were because of Brewster. And
Matt Spaeth.
yeah, Matt Spaeth was a gopher, but also
Oh yeah, and then now when they transfer, they don't have to redshirt that 1 year anymore.
no. Well, now here's another thing too. These players can get paid.
Oh yeah, I forget that.
The NILs. So now they're gonna go where the money is, which I don't fault them. I honestly don't fault them. It's they are grown men,
Right.
so they should be making the colleges have made a ton of money off of these kids.
Right. I mean, look at all the buildings that they've managed to build with the college football money.
Oh, these coaches are making money hand over fist.
I mean, they have facilities that are nicer than some of the NFL teams.
They're better than the NFL teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so bad now. You've got high schools that are better than professionals. As
Yeah.
far as,
Oh, forgot about the most famous one.
Bronco Nagurski.
Right. Well, there's also someone. The Gophers actually have someone that won the Heisman too.
Yeah, Bruce Smith.
Yeah, a lot of people don't talk about him. When we talk about Bruce Smith, they talk about the other one. But
Oh,
what was the name of
Buffalo
that
Bruce Smith?
quarterback who threw for a ton of yards for the Gophers?
There was a couple of them. Adam Weber, Mike Hohensee.
No, this guy had Talik Bau or whatever. His name
Oh,
was.
Asad Abdul Khalik.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was replaced by Travis Cole.
Who?
Travis Cole.
Yeah.
He was replaced by Travis Cole. And then they had Adam Weber, which his dad was a Gopher. His dad was Bobby Weber, who played with the Gophers in the 70s.
Night, Trisha.
Night, baby. I'll call you when I get done here. So it's,
Oh, that other running back too, who was in the same backfield as Barber.
was Lawrence Maroney.
Broncos, right?
No, Maroney went to the Steelers. The Bronco running back was after
I could have sworn there was a Gopher running back who played for the Broncos.
there probably was.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name.
There was a Gopher running back that played with the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Broncos drafted Willie Middlebrooks number 1 year, cornerback. He didn't play very long in the NFL though. God, who? Yeah, Khalik was not. He was an option quarterback, but you know what? Khalik.
But didn't he go for a ton of yards though?
He did. Not as many as Weber, and not as many as who was after him. Oh, not as many as that guy that just retired. The guy that looked like he was middle aged and he was like a 6-year senior.
Tanner.
We just got rid of him.
Tanner something.
Something Tanner Connor? Tanner, yeah.
He was replaced by Athenson, but
and he left in the transfer portal.
Yeah, he left.
Well, the guy they had playing
Tanner Morgan.
Tanner Morgan. Yeah, the guy looked like he had been in college since been in college for like 10 years. But the guy they got to play in their bowl game, they had to pay him with NIL money because he was out of football. They had no quarterbacks for their bowl game. Everybody entered the transfer portal. That's how bad the Gopher team was. Tony Carter was the Bronco. Yeah, Tony Carter.
I don't understand why they keep PJ Fleck around, to be honest with you.
PJ Fleck, why is he up here?
why they keep him around. When you lose that many players to the transfer portal,
Because the school is happy with mediocrity.
but when you lose that many players to where you can't even field a team, that says something.
Where
So
did he
what?
come from?
His mom and his dad. I think he was head coach of Western Michigan, Central
Western Michigan, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tony Carter is the one that played with the Broncos.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he came from Western Michigan. But now here's the thing, though. This is probably karma for Mark Coyle, because when Coyle took over as the athletic director,
I'm watching the Twins, and Byron Buxton just got an infield hit.
oh, geez.
That
you know,
dude's so bad.
they jumped through hurdles to get rid of Tracy Claeys.
Yes,
I mean, they couldn't wait to get rid of Tracy Claeys because of the allegations that came out, the whole thing that went down with Antoine Winfield and a bunch of other players, which
yeah.
I got the story on that. It was the biggest crock of BS, and the university is still paying that girl. They're still paying her. And I'm just
Wasn't that like a long time ago?
it was when Antoine was there. Antoine fought to stay on the Gophers football team. He fought. He went to court to stay with the Gophers. A lot of the guys that went through that stuff left the school. He stayed.
Yeah.
He stayed. And come to find out, I can put it out there now, the girl lied.
What a cracker. See, that's what pisses me off about like women, because then like when they post shit like this, it hurts actual victims. You know?
It goes back to that whole remember the Duke lacrosse team?
Yeah.
How they got vilified in the media.
Yeah.
And when the court case came out, they're like, "Oh, this is not what was told to us."
Well, they should have known. And there was a big uproar up here. You might remember this, Sarah, because Minneapolis declined to press charges, and people were losing their mind up here. Well, this girl was,
Yeah, like I mean, I vaguely remember it because it's been so long, but it was a big story up here.
Right, and she, because they said that she had been SA'd. Well, guess what? She wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't, but the school paid her to keep her mouth shut. So,
like, I mean, if she wasn't, then she needs to give all that fucking money back, man. That's bullshit.
She won't. I want to go back to No Stop's comment. Yeah, Rick is from Edina, Minnesota. So I know Michigan was on his radar. Minnesota was too. He couldn't stay in school. That was the problem. He kept leaving.
He has a connection to South Carolina too.
He does have a connection to South Carolina. I think he was adopted out of South Carolina. But he couldn't stay in school. He was just couldn't stay there. The year that he quit, he was supposed to be a starter. So Rick was there with Greg Gagne, who was a quarterback, Vern Gagne's son, who also played at the University of Minnesota. Vern was a teammate of Bud Grant's. Jim Brunzell, Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell were the high flyers in wrestling. Jim Brunzell was a fullback linebacker, and he was drafted, I believe, by the Redskins as a linebacker. There were a couple of other guys, too, that were there. So, but yeah, I mean, most of Vern Gagne's wrestling school was ex-Golden Gopher football players.
So was Antoine Winfield named as a defendant, too, then?
Yes, he was. There were 10 Gophers. Antoine Jr. was part of the 10 defendants. Yep. Yeah. He still got drafted. Tampa Bay still drafted. And the Vikings passed on 2 Gophers that they really could have used that year. The Vikings passed on Antoine Winfield, and they passed on Tyler Johnson, who was also from North Minneapolis.
Wait a second. We forgot about the most famous Gopher ever. Ask him and he'll tell you that he is.
The most famous Gopher?
Yeah. Ask him. He'll tell you that he's the most famous Gopher out there.
Who, Tyrone Carter?
No, he was the greatest player ever. Ron Johnson.
Oh,
Well, oh, wait. The Ron Johnson has got the TV show
Ron
Yeah.
Johnson that works for the score. Yeah, that works for the.
that works for okay, whatever. His dad was much better than he ever was. God, and his dad was a defensive back with the
I only
Steelers.
saw that because I followed him on X and it just popped up. So-
Oh, he's a clown. He's a clown.
what did he play? Tight end, right?
Who?
Nah,
Ron Johnson? He's a wide receiver.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, he wasn't really that good of a receiver.
yeah. His career didn't last that long in the NFL. I don't think.
No, he was drafted by the Ravens and got cut by the Ravens. Yep.
And then I think now he works for the Vikings, right?
Well, he works for the Vikings TV network, which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
KMSP. Oh, by the way, the Vikings have a gopher on their roster right now, Blake Cashman.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I will not tell the story of Blake Cashman, but I know.
But here's the thing, though. How
Come on,
long
tell
was it?
us.
How long was it in between?
We don't care.
There's a lot of stuff Tony and I talk off the air that we don't.
I told you, right, Catch? Did I tell you off air?
I think you did. I don't
About
remember the whole
Cashman?
story. Yeah, you did tell me a story about a Cashman.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff Tony and I talk about off air that we're not allowed to say because Tony doesn't have permission to say it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, I forgot what I was going to say before that, but
It must not have been that important. You were mentioning something about the Gophers.
well, how long it took for between offensive linemen to be drafted? Because that center was drafted.
For the
yeah.
Gophers?
Yeah.
He went in the
Was it-
second round.
No, I'm saying, but what's his name went? That one, they'll go for the center. The guy who played center.
Yeah, Schmitz.
No.
John Michael, right?
John
no,
Michael,
no.
yeah.
The guy who got drafted. Let me look it up real quick. As soon as I see his name.
He went second round to the Giants.
No. The time in between from what I'm talking about is when Ben Hamilton got drafted. And
Yeah,
then
that was in
the space between Ben Hamilton being picked and the next Gopher offensive lineman being drafted is what I was talking about. Was it like 18 years or something like that?
well, no, because Filelli got drafted. Daniel Filelli.
Fidel was the first offensive lineman to be drafted after Hamilton.
After Hamilton?
Yeah. I remember them talking about that.
Yes,
when
there was a drought. There was a bad drought.
It was like 15 years or something like
Yeah,
that.
there was a bad drought between Ben Hamilton, Mark Setterstrom, and Filelli.
Because Hamilton and Setterstrom, I think, were the same draft.
Yeah, they were all Americans. They were both all
Yeah.
Americans.
And then they didn't get drafted again until Filele got drafted.
And Hamilton, his natural position was center. He ended up playing guard with the Broncos. He was a Bronco.
Yeah.
He was a Bronco. You know who his dad is, right? Ben Hamilton.
Alexander Hamilton?
No. His dad is Wes Hamilton, the former Viking.
Okay.
Yep. His dad is Wes Hamilton.
Well, that's probably why someone of his caliber went to Minnesota, because usually that's how it happens.
And Wes is from Texas, but once they move up here, if they can deal with the weather, they usually stay.
Yeah. I saw a story on that. They talked about NFL teams, about players who played for that team and them staying in the area of the team that they played in. Obviously, Los Angeles, was first, but Minnesota, I think, was either second or third on that list.
Oh, there's some.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the guys, especially back in the day, to come up here. I mean, because like
Miami was second.
Miami was saying, because it's warm.
Yeah.
It's warm. Unless you're a warm weather state, most of you move to the warm weather states. But for the Vikings, a lot of which is, I guess it says for Minnesota, a lot of the guys that come up here and play stay, or they move away and come back. Tommy Kramer did it. He left Texas, came back to Minnesota. Carl Eller, once he got here, never left.
Alex Boone.
Alex Boone, he was only here a year.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't going back to San Francisco.
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, most of your old school. Chuck Foreman, Florida, but he's moved to Minnesota.
That's just weird.
If you go to like the Dolphins, like Nick Bunicani, Dan
Right.
Marino, Tony Nathan,
Right.
they all stayed. Mike Clayton, Mark Duper, they all stayed in Miami.
They all stayed in the sun. They all stayed
Yeah.
in Miami. And Miami was kind of a retirement community anyway. I mean, Tarkenton, he moved back to Georgia. That's his home.
Like, I'm shocked they stayed here though, because I mean, this is like a cold ass place.
Yeah, and then winters.
Yeah, but there's a lot to do here. You got all the lakes for the fishing. You got the hunting.
If you're like with a lot of the old school Vikings, like Jim Marshall, he was an outdoors person. So being in Minnesota was perfect for him. He could shoot off with guns every weekend and do other things that he liked to do. Carl Eller, I mean, they were gods up here in the Twin Cities. Carl Eller had a business. Alan Page, once his career was over, he came back to Minnesota.
Thank you, East Coast. It's a pleasure as always, man.
Safe travels, East Coast.
Yep, have a safe
travels.
flight.
But when you get those old school, when you get players from the South.
John Randall.
Randall's from Texas, and he stayed up here. He stayed.
Bud Grant.
Bud stayed.
Did Burns stay after he left?
No, Burns went to Florida.
Okay.
Burns went to Florida. Denny went to Arizona. Well, when Denny lost his job in Arizona, he stayed in Arizona.
Denny's wife is pretty. I never knew who his wife was, but I saw a picture of her. I was like, damn, she's pretty hot.
He married an airline stewardess.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that's what she was doing.
Yeah,
she was an airline. She was an airline stewardess. The only like Sammy White, he comes up here, but he goes back to Louisiana. He says he still can't stand the cold.
Doesn't Ahmad Rashad? He lived in Minnesota till he got that.
He lived in Minnesota till he got the national gig.
Yeah,
and then he moved.
Oh yeah, isn't that guy Steve Wycheck or whatever? Isn't he from here too?
He's got some ties in Minnesota. The reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Sam
got some
White?
ties in Minnesota.
You talking about Sam White?
White, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got some ties to Minnesota.
Well, Pelissero lives here. But
oh yeah, Pelissero, he lives here too, doesn't he?
Pelissero used to cover the Vikings.
Yeah, but he lives here, doesn't he? I think he does.
No, he's still in Minnesota.
Oh, Pelissero stayed?
Yep.
Courtney Cronin was here. She moved back to Chicago because she's now covering the Bears, but she used to cover the Vikings too. She was always on K-Fan. So I'd listen to her, but then I'd have to put up with PA, which God help us. So, okay, he is from here. Thanks, Norpheus. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's just to get those Southern guys, you come from a warm weather, but you come to Minnesota, and these guys played outdoors in the cold.
Yeah.
And then they stayed. And I mean, Chuck Foreman stayed. Ricky Wilson stayed.
Maybe because the winters here are warmer now.
Nowadays, though, the players really don't. Most of the players stay in the cities where they're from nowadays.
Well, especially now, because here's the deal. They get paid. Yeah, right, Norpheus. Courtney Cronin is from Chicago. The players now, it's year-round, the whole training.
Yeah.
So you have OTAs whenever, so naturally you're going to be in town, which should they go to 18 games, That's all going to change. The OTAs are going to be history. Everybody,
I think they're going to get the veterans are going to get a true like 4 months off or something
Yeah.
like that, because they're still going to have rookie minicamp.
yeah, but just one.
Yeah,
Just one. It just, you know what though? Back in the day, it was just one. You had your rookie mini camp, and then you had training camp, and now you had the rookie mini camp like right after the draft in April, and then you training camp. And if you were the Vikings, you always started camp late. You were the last team to start camp.
yeah.
Man, it's hard being a rookie coming into the league though, because then you have your bowl games, and then you have combine, and then you have pro day,
Well-
and then you have the draft, and then right after that you have a rookie mini camp, OTAs, mini camp, and then you finally get like what 6 weeks off. That's a long schedule.
Well, yeah, but here's the deal though. You get that off. That's just to get into the league. Once you're in the league, you're probably not going to do that much work.
I don't know.
It's not what
I
it
don't-
used to be.
I don't know if Ricky Young played long enough with the Vikings to be in the Ring of Honor. But
Yeah,
I
he
mean, like
did.
that first year coming into the league is like long.
Sammy
and
White.
hard.
Sammy White should be in there.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a Mato shot in there, you need Sammy White in there. You also need Bobby Bryant in there.
Yeah,
Put Bobby Bryant in there. Ricky, he was with the team for 8 years. I think 8. Oh God, I got to do math now. 6 years. Yep. 6 years.
I mean, he had that one great year.
He caught, you know what? He caught all those passes and it wasn't even over 800 yards.
Yeah,
It was like 7 something, but he was part of the Ed White trade. And by the way, Ed White needs to be in the Ring of Honor too. Ed White needs to be in the Hall of Fame. When you block for 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, you're all pro countless times, you need to be in the Hall of Fame. And I talked to Ed White to this day. He still hates Mike Lynn. And Mike's been dead 12, 13 years.
not long enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's
I'm sorry. I'm joking. Obviously, I don't wish anybody, but he set the Vikings franchise back 20 years.
yeah.
Is
And
he the one that did
the
the
Walker
Herschel
trade.
trade?
he did the Herschel trade, yeah.
And then he left the next year to go run the World League of American Football.
And then he ditched that.
Nice.
Well, you know
And
what?
still making money off the Metrodome.
He made money off of those Metrodome suites up until the day he died. He was making money off the Metrodome suites.
So who was the best Vikings GM then?
Jim Finks.
Yeah, Jim Finks.
Jim
Hmm.
Finks. And
Because
Jim
Jim
Finks,
Finks not only built the Vikings, he built 2 other teams as well.
Finks knew how to build teams. He built the Vikings. He built the Bears. He built the Saints. He even built the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, he built the 85 Bears.
He built the 85 Bears. That was the team he built.
Which defense would you guys say is better, the 85 Bears or the 70s People Eaters?
Minnesota's defense played together longer. They just don't have the championship to show for it. The Bears caught lightning in a bottle.
The
And
Bears were not even the thing about it though is the Bears were not the best team in the NFL that year. The
No, they
Dolphins-
weren't. The Dolphins were the best team.
The Dolphins were the better team that year.
Yeah, the Dolphins were the best team in New
The
England.
Dolphins took the Patriots slightly in the NFC Championship game.
Yep. Yeah, so if over the long, I mean, the Purple People Eaters stayed together for 10 years. So
Yeah,
in a nutshell, I'm gonna say the Purple People Eaters.
Mm.
because the Bears went 15-1 that year, and the only loss was to the Dolphins. And the reason why the Dolphins were so successful against the Chicago defense is because they threw quick passes, and Dan Marino's release was so fast.
Yeah.
They couldn't get to him.
And they couldn't cover Duper and Clayton one-on-one.
Yeah.
And by the way, one of those
Fuller
guys,
ain't covering Mark Clayton.
one of those guys that was getting burned that night was a guy by cornerback by the name of Leslie Frazier.
Yep. Leslie Frazier and Jeff Fuller were not covering Mark Cooper and Clayton.
No, it wasn't even. It was what was his? It was Leslie Frazier.
Yeah, but for Fuller was a safety.
Fuller didn't play that year. He was hurt.
Well,
Jeff
even
Fuller-
if he wasn't hurt, he ain't covering Cooper and Clayton.
He ain't covering anybody. I forget who the other cornerback was.
It was another white guy. I know that much.
No, it was a brother.
No, the safeties. What am I?
Oh, the safety was Fensick and the other guys passed away. Dave Dorson.
Dorson.
Yeah, Dorson passed away.
Is it Dorson or Dorson? I thought it was Dorson.
Dave Dorson.
Number
Yeah.
20, right? He wore 20 or 22.
No, he wore 22.
Okay.
He was 22.
Fensick was 45.
And Willie
What I
Gault,
don't get is why the Bears are in the same situation as us with the rookie quarterback, but they are a playoff contender and we are like shit.
National media. And plus
yeah.
they were riding Caleb Williams nuts last year.
He was not that impressive to me. I mean, all the good teams he played, he sucked.
I thought he was. I mean, he's
Yeah,
got
Mark Brothers.
Oh
Someone,
yeah,
someone
Duper.
who grew up in South Florida, God, they were everywhere. You go into a 7-Eleven, get a Mark Brothers 7-Eleven cup.
So they had posters all over Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looks soft to me. I don't know how he's gonna.
Caleb, he's gonna have to get. He's not gonna be the big man.
Jeff Plank, yes.
No, Doug Plank. That was his name.
Doug Plank. I do the last name. Yeah.
Yeah, Doug Plank.
I think
46
that's what I was,
was
that's what I
after
was
him.
thinking of. Yeah,
Yep. But I mean, here's the thing with Caleb. If things go south, how's he gonna handle it mentally?
yeah.
I don't think he's gonna.
Well, and now this is going to be a problem too. His big mouth father.
Because just watching him, how he handled the games he lost, the big games he lost, was not very good.
His father will be the one that's going to be probably his mouthpiece.
Is he gonna wear pink fingernail polish when he's playing a game?
No, he'll wear blue and orange on game day.
Because he will get teased by the players in the NFL for doing that. Because
Oh, it's going to be open season on him.
because they find anything they can. If they can get underneath your skin, they'll find anything they can do it.
Oh, they're gonna test his mental. They're
Oh,
gonna.
yeah,
That's the
you
thing
guys-
about JJ. JJ may not have the talent that Caleb Williams has, but he's definitely tougher. He's mentally tougher than
JJ
Caleb.
was a hockey player. I'm telling you, they're a different breed.
Yeah.
Hockey players are a little not all there. Yeah. Yeah, hockey players are not all there. Yeah, Doug Plank, the defense, Buddy Ryan named that defense after Doug Plank, the 46, which, by the way, Buddy Ryan was our defensive coordinator too. So, but yeah, I mean, he built Jim Finks knew how to build a
I got a question for you, Tony. When you were probably it was probably in the 70s for you, early 80s. I know it was like in the mid 80s.
Okay.
For me, but when you collected cards, right?
Yeah.
When I was probably 87, 88, if we saw a sheriff's office card and we walked up to that sheriff's office card,
Yeah.
they had special edition Miami Dolphin cards. You could only get that card by getting it through a sheriff's deputy.
We had those here too.
You had those there too? Okay.
We had those here. You actually saw grown ass men that collected football cards going up to cops asking for Viking cards.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I've got two of them right here on my desk.
they wouldn't give them to adults down in Florida, though. You had to be like You had to be like in school to get them.
Oh, they handed them out regularly here.
Yeah.
You know, hell, and then there were like card shops here.
Yeah.
They had the complete set, and they would sell the complete set.
Is Shinder still around? I don't think
No,
so.
they're out of business. They've been out of business for years. Matter of fact, it was Shinders.
My neighbor's dog's barking again. I'm sorry, guys.
No problem. It was Shinders that was that had the cards, and they used to the cop cards. But yeah, you could go up to a cop and you could ask for a Viking card. You had a different one every week for football season. And,
Yeah, you had a different one. You had a different one for every week. Yeah.
Yep. And they would hand them out usually. And see, this is where I always liked. First it was Bob Lurtzen was Viking Report. Then it was Tommy Kramer's. They had an ad in there where they would tell you which card the cops were giving away that week. So, yeah, I collected them. I had the whole set for like 3 years, but I lost them all. I lost a lot of my stuff over the years.
Same here. I have Kevin Garnett's rookie card in a case graded.
Mhm.
It was graded 10.
Mhm.
And I was like, I need to put this somewhere really safe because it's gonna be worth a lot of money someday. I just don't fucking remember where I put it because I put it somewhere so safe that it's like I can't remember where.
You put it where it's too safe.
Yeah.
You put it where it's too safe. I had a shitload of football cards. I had all kinds of music and shit, but moving and then I was homeless. I lost it all. So I got very few cards. I don't have as many cards as I used to. And then the only thing I really have left from when I was homeless are my books, my football books. So,
Damn. I just wish I knew where I put that damn Kevin Garnett card. Like, oh, I could sure use it right now.
Well, that's like my buddy when he passed away. He was my football coach. He was a good friend. We won a championship in semi-pro. Well, guess what? We get rings. They would make rings for us.
Yeah.
Well, he put his ring away, and he didn't tell anybody where he put it. So when he passed away unexpectedly, everybody, his brother told me, well, I cleaned out the house and everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, did you find his ring? He's like, what ring? I'm like, he won a championship, our championship ring from 2005. He's got a championship ring. He has no idea where the ring was. No idea where it is. And Chris has been gone now 5 years.
Yeah.
It's you want to put something away because you want to make sure nobody knows it's there. But when you put it away and you forget where it is.
Yeah, I have no idea where that card is. I'm just like, God damn. It's like, I just remember at that time, it's like, okay, I need to put this somewhere very safe. So I put it somewhere really safe.
Yep. Hey, Catch, go back to No Stop's comment about Jeff Diamond.
Oh, wasn't he a GM?
Okay, now this is a weird thing with Jeff Diamond. He was our GM when it was the gang of 10, when we had the 10 owners.
We had 10 owners?
Oh, God, yeah. There was that whole thing was just, it was bad. Here's what happened. There was a big ownership thing with the Vikings in the late 80s, early 90s between Max Winter and Erwin Jacobs and Carl Pohlad, the Twins owners, and Mike Lynn. The Pohlads and Erwin Jacobs thought they should own the team. Mike Lynn put up a fight about who owns the team. What happened was Mike Lynn then turned around and basically gave the team to Roger Hedrick, his next door neighbor, when he left.
What the hell?
Yeah, Hedrick came in. What happened was there was a bunch of people that all had shares in the Vikings. So the team essentially had 10 owners, but the team was being run by the GM. The GM was Jeff Diamond. They hired Denny Green. Denny had put it out there that he wanted to be the GM. He put it in his book, and he was saying it out loud that he wanted to be the GM. Well, when Red McCombs bought the team, he elevated Denny to GM.
Stop.
And he was co-GM with Jeff Diamond. But the picking of Randy Moss, that was all Denny Green. That was Denny. And then Jeff Diamond, I think he resigned after the draft. But he didn't stick around. But it was when Red McCombs bought the team, it first was supposed to be Tom Clancy, the author, and he didn't have the money and it fell through. Well, then the next person up was Red McCombs. So Red McCombs bought the team. But Red McCombs every day was threatening to move the team to San Antonio. He wanted a stadium. He wanted a new stadium. And
Yeah, but can you just like pick a city and move the team there? Like, don't you have to get
no,
approval?
he was from San Antonio.
Yeah, but I mean, like, don't you have to get approval
he's-
from the NFL?
He's everywhere here.
Yeah, and one of the reasons they weren't going to move the team was because it cut into Dallas Cowboy territory. That's why they never moved the team. That's why they wouldn't. I mean, Jerry Jones put up the big stink. He put up the big stink.
Yeah.
And so, but he wanted a new stadium. This is the Metrodome was what? 20 years old. That's all.
Well, 82.
Built in 82. It was, you know what? And they did
But it was built. It was outdated when it was built.
It was outdated when it was built. Yeah, it was outdated. As soon as it was built, it was outdated. And we were the last one to stay open. Hell, when it deflated, they couldn't even fix the roof. They had to send the roof overseas to fix it. So, but yeah, and he threatened to move the team and everything. And then, now here's the funny part. He traded Randy Moss in spring of 2005. And then, like, maybe less than a month later, he sold the team. So, and then it was supposed to be Reggie Fowler. Reggie Fowler didn't have the money. So then the Wilfs came in and bought the team.
How much did they buy the team for?
Oh, God.
Yeah, Reggie Flower was supposed to be the major owner.
Yeah.
The first black owner of an NFL franchise, but he didn't have the money. The Wilfs were minor partners.
Yeah.
The Wilfs became the
Majority.
owners once the NFL realized they were the ones who had the money.
And now Fowler is actually doing jail time
Yeah.
for embezzlement or something like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, it's stable now as far as ownership goes. The Wilfs got a stadium. I'd prefer it didn't have a roof, but it does.
Well, I heard that it had to have a roof because in order for them to get funding from the state, it needed a roof.
It was supposed to be a retractable roof, but
It's supposed to be retractable.
The state didn't want to pay for the extra money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the state wasn't gonna give them funding if it didn't have a roof. So
Because they want to put a whole bunch of shit in there. Now they're going to get this. They were supposed to give WrestleMania, but instead they got SummerSlam.
aren't they like I don't know?
I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah,
It's WWE.
I know, but they're both like major events. So
One is in the winter, one is in the summer.
Is one bigger than the other?
Yeah, WrestleMania.
Okay.
has WrestleMania ever been here before?
Nope. It was supposed to be here this year, but then I don't know what happened. Somebody told me it was all about the whole like Uber and Lyft thing that was going on. And once they got that figured out, next thing I know,
Uber and Lyft thing.
they were going to pull out of the Twin Cities.
Why?
There was something in an ordinance.
Oh,
Minneapolis-
something about wages or something.
yeah, wages. Yeah, they were going to pull out of the Twin Cities, so they were kind of leery of
I'll
that.
say something.
Hmm.
Being an Uber driver, being a Lyft driver is not a fucking career.
Okay.
So, the money that the city of Minneapolis wanted to pay those guys is what you make doing a career. Lyft and Uber is what you do on the side to make extra money. And not only that, you still don't let them people fool you. They make more money than what they tell you. Because I did Lyft on the side. They make more money than what they're saying.
I believe it. I
So-
believe it. No, I did. Here's the reason. I think WWE had promised a WrestleMania here. The reason they didn't have a WrestleMania here was because they gave the WrestleMania to Las Vegas, which is the other thing. The other wrestling company, AEW, has a big thing in Vegas every year, so they want to compete against that. That's the reason they did it. So they're going to have 2 nights here for SummerSlam. Usually it's 1 night, but they're going to make an exception here in 2026, and it's going to be 2 nights. So here's the thing. Even if you're a wrestling fan, why would you go? Who the hell do you want to see? There's no guarantee The Rock will be there. There's no guarantee Roman will be there. The big money guys, the big draws for WWE, they could all retire before then. What are you going to do? Bring back Brock Lesnar?
It's the women.
Huh?
The women are the big draw in wrestling right now.
Well, now Becky's gone. Becky Lynch,
Is Flair still hurt?
she's still hurt, but she's supposed to be coming back.
When did China die? I found out this China died.
Oh, a long time.
Oh my God,
Long time
China's
ago.
been gone since she died the day before Prince.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she died the day before Prince.
Yeah.
Drug overdose.
Mm.
Yeah, she does. She was a poor girl. She was a wreck.
The problem with her is there was no other female wrestler that could wrestle her.
No,
So she had to wrestle men, or she couldn't wrestle at all.
right? And then the whole thing with Triple H and Stephanie
Yeah.
ruined her world. So that was, and she was just a they couldn't work with her. She was a drug addict. And then
Well, she wasn't always a drug addict.
no, she was she got with what's his name, and he was X-Pac, and he was the drug addict because they paid for his Vince and Triple H paid for his rehab.
Because I was watching this this show where this that psychic medium Tyler,
Yeah.
he was he did a reading for Dr. Drew, and China came through. So allegedly China came through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, she was on one of those VH1 shows, Surreal Life, and she had a really bad meltdown on there with, of all people, X-Pac. She had a meltdown, and it was very public.
Yeah, that's how I found out she died, because then he was doing a reading for Dr. Drew. I guess Dr. Drew was treating her.
Yeah, he was trying to get her into rehab.
Yeah, and so then she passed away, and then she, in the reading, she came through to Tyler to give Dr. Drew a message.
Okay, yeah, because she was she overdosed. She was they found like so many drugs in her system. She was on every kind of antidepressant known to man.
She had a rough life.
She was yeah, and then she didn't look like your typical girl.
Yeah.
And so she had a bunch of surgeries that WWE paid for. But
She
yeah,
also had that tape too.
yeah, and
That didn't help either.
that tape didn't help either. That was with X-Pac, Sean Waltman. But yeah, she never got over the whole Triple H and Stephanie thing.
What
ever.
happened?
Triple H dumped her for Triple H was living with China, but he was having an affair with Stephanie McMahon.
Mm.
Everybody knew it, and nobody told her.
Mm.
And the day after it came out, she went to work. She was backstage. Stephanie basically was a bitch to her and said, "The heart was what the heart wants. Me and Hunter are going to be together. Do you need to talk to my father?" Which is Vince. Vince knew. She went and talked to Vince. Vince knew. So she works that night. Next thing you know, next day she's fired.
Damn.
Yeah, Vince fired her. So
See, I don't like that. I don't like shady shit like that. It's like, if you want to be together, but at least like fucking break up with the other person first.
well, and here's the thing with that. WWE had a policy that wrestlers were not to date.
Well, technically, Stephanie McMahon wasn't a wrestler,
Yeah, but she was still in them. Yeah, she was wrestling then.
but China. What's the thing? Another thing is that the reason Triple H started living with China is because he had nowhere else to go.
Yeah, but they had been together in what's his name's wrestling school.
Right, but he didn't have anywhere to live after once they left the wrestling school. He didn't have anywhere to live, from what I understand.
Yeah, from what I heard, they were engaged.
So
You know, and Triple H is shady as fuck too. They all are.
yeah,
But yeah, they.
I mean, no offense, but yeah, of course, if I had nowhere to live and all that, and all of a sudden Stephanie McMahon wants to get with me, sorry, China, I'm gonna go where the money's at.
Well, and see, she brought up a very
I
good.
definitely think that had something to do with it, Sarah. The fact that Stephanie McMahon is who she is had something to do with it as well.
Well, you know the big rumor about Stephanie was, right? Catch.
She's a man.
No, but supposedly an underage Stephanie had an affair with Macho Man, which is why Vince never brought him back to the WWE. Ooh, Dimebag Darrell. There you go.
But
Northfield.
wasn't he married to Elizabeth?
Yeah. Yeah, they were married, and then
Damn, she is a home wrecker whore.
she ended up with Lex Luger. She died with Lex Luger, and Lex Luger was married, and his wife lived down the road from the house he was living in with Elizabeth when she died.
No, I mean Stephanie McMahon. She's a home wrecker whore. Whew.
Well, the rumor is she hooked up with Randy Savage.
While he was still married.
Right, and Stephanie was underage.
Mm.
But here's a funny part with that. Lanny Poffo, Randy's brother, before he passed away, they interviewed him about it, and they asked him. He said, first of all, Randy wasn't the type to kiss and tell, so the only two people that know about it aren't talking. One is dead, the other one's not talking. So the guy was about to ask another question, but then here's what Lanny says. I got a question. Where was this supposed to have happened? And the interviewer was kind of shrugged his shoulder, like, I don't know. And he's like, okay, the only reason I'm asking, if it happened in Florida, the age of consent is 18. If it happened in Connecticut, the age of consent is 16.
Mm. Yeah,
So-
but how old was Randy? Like 50, right?
No, Randy was in his 30s, well in
was
his
he?
30s. Yeah. No, but only reason you asked that question is because you know something happened.
Right.
If it didn't happen, you're not going to ask, where
You,
it's
didn't-
supposed
you
to
would
be
need to
happening.
know where it happened for it to be legal.
Right. So, and, like he said, if it happened in Connecticut, the age of consent is 16. So,
Well, ain't he a paralegal?
yeah.
Well, that's the best thing about turning 36 is you can date someone half your age and it's legal.
And that's what Randy did. Yeah, because Randy was well in his 30s even then. He died. He was 59 when he died. But yeah, that was the rumor with Stephanie. It's
So did he die before Elizabeth, or did Elizabeth die before him?
Elizabeth had a drug overdose before him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Randy died in a car crash.
Had a heart attack when he was driving.
Yep, had a heart attack when he was driving. I think didn't he just get married? He had just got married or something.
He was married. I think it might have been for a couple of years, but yeah.
Yeah, and he died in a car crash.
Why are there so many wrestlers that are dead? Is it from all the steroid use?
Part of it's a hard life. The traveling,
Well, hell, my brother-in-law's been married 5 times.
Oh, has he been married 5 times?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's a hell of a life. I mean, the traveling is the one thing that's a deterrent with relationships, all the traveling. It's I mean, there's stories of wrestlers that were dating a certain wrestler, then all of a sudden the other wrestler gets hurt. The girl ends up with one of the other wrestlers and they travel together and things happen. Tell you what, Sarah, there's a bunch of stories you need to look into if you want to know about this. There's a ton of them. And they're all in WWE. But there's a bunch of them. You can look up the Matt Hardy, Edge, Lita triangle, the Triple H, China, Stephanie one. Yeah, is that the book?
Yeah,
Cool.
my brother-in-law's book.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Hell, Ric Flair's been married. What is it, 7, 8 times?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 7 or 8 times.
I've been into watching who's that paranormal investigative couple that did The Conjuring.
Paranormal?
Yeah, that did The Conjuring. That
You're talking about and was it Bill and
Ed
Ann
and
Warren?
Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, Ed and Lorraine Warren, yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching videos about them, so now I can't fucking sleep.
Well, what did you expect, Sarah? You turn off the light, your friggin' spidey senses are going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then of course it reminds me that like I can't be scared, because if I'm scared, that makes me vulnerable to attract the energy. And so
So if you
like
guys-
now I'm like I can't sleep and I can't be scared, but I'm
So
like, scared.
if anybody's ever around Sarah and the lights go out, walk up behind Sarah and go,
No, that stuff is creepy, man. Ooh.
That means you're going to have to start sleeping with a light on.
I don't know how they manage to like, I don't know, like do that kind of work. Because for me, I'm like, because our culture, we're very superstitious, and so it's like we've been taught to just never mess with.
You never
That.
mess with the unknown. You
Best
never bring
flavor.
back a bad spirit.
Best
Yep.
flavor ever for pistachios.
Oh, is that chili roasted?
Yes.
I usually get the regular ones. I love the regular ones.
Ah,
I'll have to try the chili roasted now.
do you like spicy?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and so all this time I thought that Anna doll was like a doll. It's like a freaking Raggedy Ann doll, the real doll that's haunted.
Didn't they
Like-
just do a movie about a doll that came to life? Was it Megan or some shit like that?
Annabelle?
Was that the name of it?
Yeah, and that's based on uh the Ed and Lorraine Warren, because that doll is in their museum, but like they were like the doll in the movie is way scarier than the actual uh doll that they have in the museum, because it was just a Raggedy Ann doll. But I don't know. I should be saying this because I'm probably challenging it, so I'm not gonna say anything anymore.
Just sleep with the light on, turn on some music, you'll be fine.
You know what my favorite movies in that series is, Sarah?
Hmm.
The Nun movies.
The what?
The Nun.
Mm.
I haven't seen any of those yet. Are they good?
The Nun ones
Creepy.
are, yes.
Well, I can handle creepy, I think.
I can't. I'm like the worst person to watch a horror movie with.
I haven't watched a horror movie in so long because, well, you almost know when it's going to happen. It's kind of like if you've
Well,
seen
but then
enough
the
of
thing
them.
is, it's like these aren't really horror movies either, because then it's like based on true events, you know.
They're psychological thrillers.
And
Well,
at the same
they're
time, it's
supposedly
like,
based off of true stories. That's what's making them scary for a lot of people.
yeah. And on top of that, it's like my culture believes in stuff like that, so it just makes it even like that's why when I watch Asian horror movies, it's a lot more scarier to me than it probably is to like Westerners, because like you guys don't really believe in stuff like that where we do.
Asian horror movies do absolutely well. I'll just say that regular horror movies have no effect on me,
Right.
you know. But Asian horror movies are even less than that. Like, God, I can't think of some of the names of them, but you know what I'm saying.
Like The Ring.
Well, The Ring was actually a pretty good movie.
The Ring was actually decent.
Yeah. But there's like that one where like the hands are coming out of the back of the lady's head. I can't remember the name of that one.
I remember that was trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, those are like if you watch. I mean, did you watch the Asian ones or did you watch the American made?
I never
ones?
saw the Asian version of The Ring. I never saw it.
Yeah, because the Asian version ones, they are way scarier. But like I said, it's like way scarier to me because it's stuff I can relate to, So it's like really creepy to me. But like when I watch the American remade ones, it's like not scary at all.
Yeah, my wife could get scared when she's watching horror movies. You know, like she's like Halloween for some reason. I don't know why, but Halloween scares her. Stuff like that. It has zero, even as a kid. I mean, I watched The Exorcist when I was like 9. It had no effect on me.
When I first saw The Exorcist, of course, I saw it on regular TV.
Yeah.
When I saw the unedited version,
yeah,
I was kind of like, okay, it was kind of cool. Anything. It's like, oh my God, her head spun around. She's floating through the air. I'm like, okay, this is not scary, but I like the special effects. The only part that got me was when they added the part where she does the crab walk down the steps later.
Well, that was actually taken out of the original movie.
Yeah, that was. They put it back in later, and it's like when that right there was just kind of freaky. It was like the whole crab walk thing. I'm like,
if you ever watch the director's cut of that movie, it's a way different movie.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
And even when, like, if you ever see, like, remember when she went in a bedroom and covered her up with the windows was open?
Yeah.
And the images were on the wall.
Yeah, the image of the devil was on the wall.
Right. That was not in the original. They left a lot of it on they left a lot of the good stuff on the editor.
Well, they did it because the wife and I, we just watched this. Was it Netflix or Amazon? Someone had a documentary, and each episode was like episode 1 was this, episode 2, episode 3, I think, was about The Exorcist.
Was about the priest, I believe.
And they were talking about how they did a pre-screening of the movie in like 5 or 6 different theaters, and they said that a lot of the people couldn't even make it through the movie. They walked out, and they said the two scenes that the most people walked out on were the devil on the wall and her crab walking backwards down the stairs.
Oh, those two?
Yeah,
But they were okay with the cross?
I'm just saying that's what they said. That's why they cut them, because they didn't want people walking out on the movie.
Oh my God.
What year did that movie come out?
73.
73 or 74, one of those.
73.
But because I remember it was people, it's not people, kids nowadays don't understand the struggle. But back then, you would wait for a movie like that. You would wait from the movie theater for a day and a half. The line wrapped around the movie theater.
And Sarah, this is when you got here, we didn't have this, but there were a ton of movie theaters in downtown St. Paul, and they were all within like a 2-block radius of each other. The theater that was playing The Exorcist had a line that was 2 blocks long to see that movie.
Wow.
When it first came out, it was the Riviera. It was on Wabasha. And everybody, it was like, that was like the movie to see. That was the must-see movie. And people literally would see it. My mom went to go, she stood in line and went to go see it with my sister. Holy shit. Scared her to death.
Yeah, they would wait longer. They would wait a day.
Yeah.
And they would leave like 15 minutes after the movie started.
Oh, there were people camped out. I mean, Star Wars is a perfect example.
Well, Star Wars was the only movie that was more popular at that time.
Yep.
So it went Star Wars, Exorcist, and Jaws were the top.
Well, you know, the weird thing was when Star Wars came out, Star Wars did not have a lot of press.
Yeah.
Was that the first Star Wars?
Yeah. It was word of mouth.
Technically, it's the fourth, but yeah.
Technically, it's the fourth, but it was the first.
Yeah.
And when it came out, it was like word of mouth. But then if you were like into like sci-fi, you went to see it like every weekend.
If you watch that movie now, even though it was made in the 70s, the special effects still hold up.
They do. They still hold up.
And that's another reason why it was so popular. The special effects were so damn good.
Yep. And Jaws just made people scared to go into lakes and rivers and oceans.
Like, I mean, no offense, but I feel like these people that keep getting bitten by sharks in the ocean, I'm just like, quit fucking going into the ocean. You know that's where they live. God damn. But you want to go ride on a damn board. So, you know what? If you get attacked, oh well.
You know which one was really funny, which really set people back, and this is in the 60s, was Psycho. It was the shower scene.
Yeah.
It was the shower. I mean, people didn't take... people wouldn't take showers because they were scared.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I don't know. I get that, though, because, like, after I watch, like, if I watch a scary movie with a shower scene like that, when I'm taking a shower, it's creepy because it's like you don't know what's behind that shower curtain.
Right.
You know who that woman, you know who the actress was, right?
Mm-mm.
Janet Leigh. You know who her daughter is? Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of, but I couldn't get
her dad. Yeah, her dad was Tony.
And her dad is Tony Curtis.
Yep.
Yes, but another movie that was frightening was Dawn of the Dead. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it like after that movie came out, like a couple years after that movie came out, wasn't there like an E. coli breakout?
Yeah, there was.
And people had the same symptoms from the E. coli that zombies.
Yep.
That's like a
my mom
later
movie, right? I remember my mom telling me a story about that. She said it just freaked people out.
That movie freaked people out. Also, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre freaked people out
because it's a true story.
It's a true story. It's a true story, and that freaked people out.
Is it? Was there really a Texas Chainsaw?
Yes.
There was a murder in Texas. It was a true story. Yes.
Yeah, and that guy, he like would murder them and then wear their faces or something, right?
And then the family would eat their
bodies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you know what? Wisconsin had a guy that was making furniture out of dead people. Ed Gein.
Is that based
Was
on
he?
Silence of
Was
the
he?
Lambs?
I thought he was Indiana. He was. That's right.
Ed Gein was Wisconsin.
Yeah, he lived with his mom,
Was
Yep.
that based
and then
off
he
of
killed his
Silence of the
mom, and
Lambs?
then he killed the lady from a hardware store. I think that was the. He went to a hardware store to pick up some equipment, and I guess he took home the lady working at the hardware store, and that's how they found him because the people who worked at the hardware store said the last person they saw him was with him. And
Well, her
they went-
her skin was made into a lamp.
yeah, and they went to, yeah, yeah,
Flair did a song about it, Dead Skin Mask. It was about Ed Gein.
yeah,
But yeah, he made a lamp out of her skin.
That's just like I don't know. Like I don't know how you get so
but I would.
whatever into your psyche that you think of shit like that to do.
Well, his mom was not a very nice person.
No.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
And then a few years after Ed Gein, you had Jeffrey Dahmer in Wisconsin.
Because basically, he lived at home. Him and his mom lived alone on a farm. So
so
Yeah.
like what they lived
you
in
with that,
rural
you
Wisconsin.
with that information, Sarah. Think of the worst possible situation, and
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, and if you start humming the theme from Deliverance, it's okay. It fits.
No.
Yeah. So
One time I went with my friend and she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to this party out in the country." And I was like, "We're driving." I was like, "Where the fuck are you taking me? Are you taking me to like kill me or something?" It felt like I was on the scene of like Criminal Minds, where it's like we're driving through fields and it's just total darkness. And I seriously thought she was gonna murder me.
Okay, first of all, we city folks.
all
we
right,
don't party.
hey Morpheus, good night. And I agree with one of the comments you said earlier. I'll leave it at that. Good night.
Yep, later, Orpheus.
Yeah, I seriously thought she was gonna murder me because I was just like, oh my god, like, why are we like, I thought we were going to a party. Why are we in the country, driving in the dark, and it's just cornfields and it's pitch darkness. And this was just like in the cities here, but like down by where just past like Woodbury, it's all country.
It's always been like that.
Yeah, but it was scary. I thought my friend was gonna murder me.
Put it this way: just think 20 years earlier, there was nothing in Woodbury. It was all flat land.
Yeah.
There was nothing in Woodbury.
And it's dark because it's just fields,
Yeah, modern technology hasn't hit that part of the city yet. They have no lights, no nothing. Don't even know if they got running water.
Which is good for seeing the night sky for if it's a real nice, pretty
If
starry
I'm
night.
a person
like
that
that.
If I'm a person that watches the stars and the galaxies and stuff, yeah. If I'm out there just getting loaded,
Because where I live,
be right back, guys.
it's like daytime at nighttime. There's so many lights.
I don't know. I'm not a astronomy person. When I look up at the stars, I do not fucking see Orion's belt or all that shit. I just see a bunch of stars.
Yeah.
So I'm not into like all that. Like I mean, like once in a while, like if I go way up north, I'll be able to see like the northern lights. That's pretty. But other than that, I'm not a.
I mean,
astronomy
it's nice to look up every once in a while and look at the stars, just for the hell of it. But I've lived in the city for so long; it's kind of hard to do now, especially where I live. It's never like unsafely dark, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, because we got lights everywhere, you got street lights, you got billboard signs, you got a car dealership right by my house that never turns its lights off. So it's bright as hell.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like I've been watching like those stories on Ed and Lorraine Warren, and like just like I've just been watching like videos of like haunted places and all that, and like I don't know, I'm just kind of like, if you live in a house and lights start flickering and all that, like, why would you continue living there? Once you get the fuck out of that house as quick as possible, like,
No.
Yes.
you're crazy. See that you're that white friend that I know I'll never go into a haunted house with, because you'll fucking run up the stairs towards the flickering lights and we'll all die.
They'll go investigate it. It's like, well,
Right,
this is
because white
weird.
people just love to investigate shit.
Well, first of all, put it this way. If I live in a house, the lights are flickering, and I know my electric bill is up to date, yeah,
leave the
I'm
fuck
out
out.
there.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We actually went to a haunted house, and I was just walking through it like it was like I was walking through a department store. And I've lived through hurricanes and stuff like that, so flickering lights really doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens. My wife is really like that. Like, I'll watch Ghost Adventures with my wife. I'll watch that show for the guys from the people from Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Project Fear.
Yeah.
I like watching those guys are entertaining, so I'll watch those. I don't really believe in any of the stuff that they show, but my wife does. But so,
So if me, Tony, your wife, and you were in a house with like paranormal stuff going on, that means the three of us are gonna leave your ass in the house.
I'm not going to that house, and I know there's something going on there. Hell no. No, I'll stand on the sidewalk because somebody's going to have to call somebody to get your asses out of there.
Paranormal stuff isn't real.
I ain't going in there.
Paranormal stuff isn't real. So
No, it is.
Paranormal is a spirit of something that once was real.
I mean, if that's
They haven't crossed. They haven't crossed over. They haven't crossed over yet, or they refuse to cross over, or they want to get a bunch of revenge on a bunch of people who caused them to be where they are.
I told y'all, if I die before the Vikings win the Super Bowl, I ain't crossing over. I'm gonna be haunting U.S. Bank until they win a damn Super Bowl, so I can at least celebrate it as a ghost before I cross over.
With my luck, this team will probably win a Super Bowl, and I will probably croak the next day.
No, you're gonna fall, hit your head. You'll be in a medically induced coma. The Vikings will win, and you'll wake up like a year later, and everybody will be like, "Oh, did you see the Super Bowl?" You're like, "What Super Bowl?"
I'm like, yeah, I saw 3 of them. We lost them. What about it? No, we won a Super Bowl.
And if I have to haunt U.S. Bank, I'm gonna make those damn lights fucking flicker, just to so you guys know it's me, angry.
So,
no, you want
if you see a flickering light. The thought that the light bulb might be going doesn't even cross into your mind. You automatically go to paranormal.
No, I got it.
Because the light's not on.
I got it for you, Sarah. If you are there and you're going to haunt the place, you know that dragon that they have? It only blows out smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot out flames.
Okay.
That way
you'll know it's
you.
me.
Right, because it doesn't. They won't shoot out flames anymore because of what happened in Tennessee. They had a pyro accident during the player intros. Something caught on fire in the stadium, so the Vikings stopped blowing out the fire from the mouth of the dragon. So if there's flames coming out of that motherfucker, that's you.
No, when we were house hunting, we went. There was this house, and so
Your
it was
house
for sale. So
house hunting.
house hunting. So there was this house that was for sale, and we were in the area, so we were like, "Oh, let's just go check it out." So we went inside, and like I was kind of like, "Well, this is a bit unprofessional that the realtor had her boyfriend there, you know." And so I was just like, "Oh, that's a bit unprofessional. How odd." And then as we were walking through the house, somehow we all kind of like got separated, and we all talked about it afterwards. But there's this one room in that house. When you walked into that room, you could just feel all this pressure on you, and you can just feel like all the hair on your on your like arms like just stick out, and it was just cold, and it was just such a heavy energy.
Bad electric,
And like, huh?
Yeah,
bad
Yeah.
wiring.
bad.
No, it's not. It is not. And so like, and so after that, I then I realized why she had her boyfriend there with her, because that place was, it was not, I would not want to be there by myself. Let's just say that. And so like I was just like, wow, like I don't know, like I couldn't even imagine being a realtor and having to deal with shit like that, man. Ooh.
Do it during the day.
Yeah, no, when we went, it was during the day. And but like that room just had that such bad energy that it was just like, and it was just that one room too. But like, yeah, no.
No, you can. I mean, you can walk in a place and you can be like, okay, I'm just not feeling this. And whatever I am feeling is not good.
Yeah.
You know, that I do know. So,
Yeah.
well, I got to get out of here, guys. I need to
Underdone,
go to
it's
sleep.
an underdone turnip.
I need to crash because I got to get up in the morning.
All
I
right.
gotta drive 3 hours tomorrow, but
Good luck with that one. Well, so when is our next show? Catch
should be Wednesday.
go on Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah, we could do what we talked about. We could I don't know if anybody in the chat or anybody watching has heard of there's a website called Sporkle, and it's quizzes.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
I don't have my second monitor up tonight, or else I would show it. And
So
basically,
are we doing quizzes on Wednesday?
we're going to be doing like I was looking at it, and their starting lineup of game one of every game in the 70s,
Oh.
and so stuff like that. Or
Are you serious?
yeah.
Holy crap.
And then there's Vikings. Every player that has scored a Viking, every player who has scored a point for the Vikings since the year 2000. So it includes defensive players like fumble recoveries and all that.
What is that? Sporific?
Huh?
What
Oh,
site is that? Sporkle?
Sporkle.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So there's stuff on it like that. You know, and then there's like the all-time leading rushers. You know, so
Mhm.
basically Tony and I will play those quizzes, and then we'll see the points and the players and stuff like that. Because basically what it does is you take the quiz, and then you either run out of time, and it gives you a percentage, or you finish it, and then it scores you. So it's like average score will be like 62% will be the average score on some quizzes. So do you do better? Do you do worse? You know, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And I figured that we could do a couple of history ones on there. You know,
Sounds like a plan. Well, let's do that then.
Test your fandom.
Yeah,
well,
see.
that's basically what it is. Because you got to think about it. Because like every player that has scored for the Vikings since the year 2000. So it could be a guy who played one game but got like a fumble recovery for a touchdown or something like that.
Like a Greg Lewis.
And he would be on.
Exactly.
You know, it's funny you say that because I think the touchdown that he caught for the 49ers
This is his only
was
touchdown.
his only touchdown play for the Vikings.
Yep. His
And
only
he-
touchdown was Greg Lewis. That was
Yeah.
his touchdown.
Yeah. So stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
that's so I figured
That'd
we'd
be
do pretty
fun.
good on that. I think we'll probably do above average in almost every quiz.
Sounds like a plan.
Some of them are 5 minutes, some of them are 10 minutes, some of them are 20 minutes. It all depends.
So where are you going tomorrow, Curtis?
We're going to a city in Texas called Rockport. It's on the coast.
Sounds haunted. Anything that
Well-
has port sounds haunted.
It is a little. It is a little bit away. It's probably I don't
Well,
know.
if that's the case, Sarah, don't go to Duluth.
It's probably like 25,
Oh, I
30
used to live in
minutes from
Duluth.
Galveston. Which
Oh, did you?
Yep.
I'm sorry. That fog rolls in off the lake.
Oh yeah.
That's scary as hell.
Oh no, I was driving, and it was so foggy. Next thing I knew, there was a freaking deer right in front of me.
I went up there after one of our games. We
Yeah,
stayed
when
there
it rains, it's like horrible. Like you can't see anything in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, I like Duluth, but it's reminds me of San Francisco. It'll remind you of San Francisco.
So why are you guys going there, Curtis?
It's my wife's birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday!
And she wants to go to the water. The Rockport it's about I don't know, 30 minutes from Corpus Christi.
oh,
And so it's the clean part. Corpus Christi is nasty, not because Corpus Christi is a dirty city, but
Right.
by the way the Gulf of Mexico works, all the trash in the Gulf of Mexico ends up in Corpus Christi.
oh, that's yucky.
Yeah. So
Well, you guys have fun. Be safe.
yep, we rented a cottage. It's kind of cool. So
Oh yeah, you guys
cottage on the water. So
Well, have a good one, everybody.
Well,
Yeah,
all
we-
right. You guys drive safe there, and Tony, whatever you're doing tomorrow, have fun. Be safe. I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wait till after 4 a.m. because 3 o'clock is the activity time, so I can't go to sleep until after then.
1, 2, Freddy's coming
Stop!
for you. 3, 4, better lock your door.
My doors are
5,
locked.
6, get a crucifix. 7, 8, better stay.
Wait a minute, you have a dog, right, Sarah?
Never sleep
Oh, That's
again.
that's one of the reasons why I got a dog, because in our culture, dogs don't the spirits don't like dogs, and so dogs protect you, and so that's why I got one of the reasons why I got a dog. And that is I didn't really think that was true until one night I had a really, really bad dream. And then I remembered that it's weird how do you guys have dreams where you're dreaming but you're still you're subconscious enough to know that you're no real life stuff in your dream. I mean that you can kind of control your dreams. You know what I mean?
I don't dream.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had this really, really bad dream, and I was paralyzed. And then in that moment, my subconscious was like, "You have a dog," and so the moment I touched my dog, then that thing or whatever just disappeared. And
Yes,
so that's why I have a dog, because spirits don't like dogs. But thanks a lot. Now I'm not gonna go to sleep for longer.
Well, remind me not to invite you to a seance.
Oh yeah, I won't be coming. All right, bye guys.
I got a Ouija board. I can go ahead and open it up.
No, that is bad. That is how you open doors to things that you should not be opening doors to.
I can
But
open my
anyway.
door.
You guys have a good night. Be safe.
You got it, guys. Take care.
Okay,
All
bye.
right, see you guys.
Yeah.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo,
yeah.
no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I gotta